Hunter Schafer, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you so much.
I am so happy you're here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Like I just told you, not the vape.
Coming out as you're like, thank you so much.
This is how comfortable I'm feeling right now. So, but this means the world to me. I just have to start off and say, because my sister, who you've graciously let in this room, put me onto your podcast during the pandemic, and we were gagging. And I'm so excited to
I love
be here
you.
today.
Okay, little do you know, I really love you because I have to tell you a story.
Okay.
So I think it was a year ago. We were this close to each other and you had no idea probably. We were in Milan and I was sitting
Were you at the Prada show?
Yes.
I do remember seeing you there. Okay.
This is
Were you there?
Okay. Hunter's sister is in the room and she's saying she saw me freaked out. Okay, this is why life is so fucking stupid because I was standing with my videographer and I was like, oh my God, it's Hunter. And he was like, go say hi to her. And I was like, no, like that's weird. He was like, no, go say hi. I'm like, no. Like, I believe one day we are going to meet in a non like weird or like moment where I'm like fangirling.
That's totally how I feel about people too, like that I gag over.
Yes.
Is like, if I know that we are going to, because you have that feeling about people sometimes where you're like, I know I'm going to kiki with this person. I'm like, I don't want to fuck it up.
But I'm so happy you're here. Call Her Daddy is brought to you by T-Mobile. When it's time for a big, juicy gossip session with one of my friends, I need a reliable way to get all the tea. And by tea, I mean T-Mobile, okay? Having more 5G coverage means getting 5G signal more often. And as someone who is constantly on the go, it is so nice to have a reliable network that I can count on. Being a T-Mobile customer also means that I have access to a ton of perks like concert tickets, skipping lines at events, and free in-flight Wi-Fi so I can keep posting from the sky. That free in-flight Wi-Fi has been key lately because we're trying to find my best friend Lauren a man on every flight we take, and I have to keep the Daddy Gang updated live with our progress. T-Mobile also has VIP Club Magenta lounges that offer free drinks for T-Mobile customers, and you guys know I can't say no to a free dirty martini. So, Daddy Gang, kick your old carrier to the curb. It is time to block their number. Then go and hit up T-Mobile when you're ready to really be taken care of. Check out the VIP treatment at tmobile.com/benefits. Okay, tell me about your outfit. How did you pick this outfit? We're loving it.
Okay, thank you. This is like, well, we were just talking about this kind of is like, I always feel like the image that I put out into the world, like on Instagram, whatever, is like very much like the drag version of who I am. And it's like an image that I've put together to like give to the world. And like, that is not how I dress and act in real life. And so, but like this, I feel like your podcast is very about like
cozy.
Let's like give realness. Yes. And this is I picked shit up off the floor and put a little stupid outfit together. And that's what this is.
It's really cute. And I'm happy that you're comfortable. And that is the key here, like coziness.
Yes. And RuPaul also, bitch. Okay. Can I just say that interview, like face cracked me. Like that interview impacted me so much, and also I lived for her outfit, for her give with the oh my God.
It was so incredible because I remember like you're kind of talking like similar with like Rue like presents a specific way and has these like cunt outfits that you're like,
this is what I'm talking about.
Bitch.
Yes.
And I remember when Rue showed up, I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember the rep was like, no, Rue really wanted to show up today just as like Rue.
Yeah.
And this is what like Rue would be wearing like around Rue's house. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I love that you came just like cozy today.
Thank you.
You just bought a new house like this year?
Yes. I heard you did too.
Yes.
Okay.
How is it going?
Girl.
Oh my God.
Girl. Okay. So I've been looking for a house for a few years now. To be 100% honest, I didn't grow up with it's a very surreal thing to be like making significantly more money than like anywhere where I came from, like my parent, anything that I grew up with.
Yep.
We're just pretty regular middle class, and now I'm like, I have a lot of fucking dough, and I have no idea how to use it, and so it scares me, and so like at some point I had to be like, okay, I need to do something with my money, and so I've been looking for a house. I finally found this beautiful house, and I moved in when September of last year.
Okay.
And I've started on the whole, like, now I'm going to hire people to make, I tried doing the whole, I'm going to buy furniture by myself. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
It's so fucking hard.
Are you doing that?
Oh my God. I literally left it to my husband because like back in the
Your
day.
husband is, you let your husband do it?
No. I know this sounds insane, Hunter, but like Matt has incredible taste.
Okay.
He has like perfect taste. And I'm
Okay.
like, now I just let him do his thing because
Oh
I'm going to be
God.
honest. I decorated my first New York City apartment where I first lived alone for the first time ever. And I was like, watch me, bitch. Like, this is going to be so gorgeous. I got the couch and the couch sat there for so long. And I'm like, how do you make a space look good?
This.
And I see Pinterest and I see like even Urban
Yes.
Outfitters. Like it looks so cute. And then I buy it and it looks like fucking shit.
Yes.
So then I hire someone. And now I
Exactly.
hired my husband to do it. So
Amazing. Good.
if you want,
for
he'll come over and help
I
you.
wish I had a husband that had amazing taste. That is not my fucking case, Diva. I like, yeah. So I went through the exact same spiral of
Okay.
like, okay, wait, I look at couches and then I'm like, wait, but like, and this is so, I hate, it's so like
It's okay. Go
first
off.
world,
It's okay.
whatever.
Go off.
Like I look at this amazing couch, but then like if I spend a bunch of money on this couch and then the carpet
Right.
changes everything.
Like, huh?
Girl, I'm like, I really tried, and then I was like, no. So I hired
A designer?
so have you seen Troye Sivan's AD
Yeah.
video?
Insane.
Insane. So I hit Troy up, and he was very gracious in connecting me to those people. So they're doing it for me.
God bless.
And we are just getting started. Everything in my house right now is completely covered in sawdust because the roof just got done and it all came through the ceiling. It's insane. So,
Okay. Well, it doesn't maybe matter because you're leaving.
No.
Can we talk about this?
So this is all going to happen while I'm away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me. You walk in here and you're like, bitch, you caught me at a great time. And I'm like, wait, why, Hunter, why? Tell me.
Okay.
What is happening?
Okay. So yes, you have caught me for this interview at a very, I've had a fucking week. My sister knows this.
Okay.
I've had a fucking crazy week. So I got this. It wasn't necessarily an offer, but people, the casting people for this TV show came to me like a little over a month ago and asked if I was interested. And I initially, and this is something we'll get into too, is I don't think I feel like I did TV and that was such a great intro to acting, but since moving into films, I realized I love the film format so much more because TV is so, it's a beast. It's a beast. And so I was really like under the impression with myself that I was not gonna do TV again after Euphoria is over.
Okay.
But and so I initially I said, no, I don't think I can. I mean, this sounds really cool, but I just don't think I can do it again.
Okay.
And then so they went off and they tried casting people, and then they came back a little over a week ago and were like, hey, we just want to gauge your interest again because we really think you could be really right for this. And so I was like, okay, I need a meeting with y'all to like show me really what you're trying to accomplish here. It was an amazing meeting, and I was like, fuck, I feel like the universe is like handing me this thing right now. It's not what I thought I was gonna give, but I feel like I have to do this. And can I say what it is? It's Blade Runner 2099. So there's the initial Blade Runner from the 80s, and there's 2049 from 2019, and so this is the continuation, 2099 in TV show format. It's very cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's like insane.
Thank you.
And when you have meetings like that, when you say like it goes well, like what do you look for to make you feel comfortable?
Well, yeah. So like the acting thing, this all like I was not looking to be an actor. It's not what I thought I was gonna do with my life.
So crazy.
I still question whether it is. So this week has been this whole process of being like, shit. I am being handed these incredible opportunities on a silver fucking platter.
Right.
And while it might not be why I thought I was put on this earth to do, like this is this is what I'm being fucking called to do right now.
Right.
And so that's been like a big processing moment, and I think it's really allowing me to like head into this project and just like fully like just dive in head first and like give myself to it, you know.
Okay, I have so many questions of just like how we got here and how you are doing. So you grew up in North Carolina. And obviously that's so fucking different than LA. What is your hometown like? Can you describe it?
Yeah. So it's
your sister is laughing. Why is she laughing? What's so funny?
Yeah. Well, you know, I really, I'm gonna be honest. I fucking hated North Carolina.
Okay.
And growing up there, being queer in the South. Anybody who's queer in the South knows it's not fucking easy. It's really. Culturally, it's in a completely different place than like the bubbles in the cities that we live in. And I always knew that I didn't belong there, and that I belonged in these spaces where I can like be myself and like not feel like there's a target on my fucking back all the time. I really hated it. And like I'm not gonna lie, like growing up there like fucked me up. I have now come to love it because I can return there in all my bad bitchery and like know that I'm fierce and I don't feel like a fucking nuisance for existing in North Carolina now. So I love it now, but growing up there it was tough. I did not like it. Yeah.
What were you like as a kid? Like in this environment, describe yourself.
One of my like I guess afflictions with life is I have never been able to really help but be who I am. And you know, so even before I transitioned, and I transitioned in my first couple years of high school, but before I transitioned, you know, I'm just like, can I say bad words? I mean,
Hunter,
like,
yes,
yeah,
please
like,
say
so I'm
words.
just like this little faggot, like I am like an extremely high femme boy in this, you know, space of like, you know, boys are like very one way, especially in the South. Like it's just culturally what it is. But I mean, it's I'm so thankful that I have not really been given a choice to be anyone but who I am. So I always stuck out like a sore thumb. But I loved like extremely artistic, pretty happy. I've always had like a pretty easy access to like joy, I think. So like despite my circumstances, you know, I look back on my childhood, and despite being in a certain amount of pain just for being who I am, I was a pretty happy kid, you know?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the South, you're right. As like growing up, if you are queer in the South, like still to this day, it's crazy to say like kids are having a hard time. Even in fucking California, they have a hard time, which is even fucking crazy to say. So when you're growing up in that environment, I know you have 3 siblings and you're the oldest.
Yes.
Being the oldest, was it hard to like open up to your siblings, or were they like there for you? Like what was that dynamic?
I would say the siblings was on the easier end, because I think that I mean, like me and Hannah, like because we're so close in age, so we were in the same schools, and because nobody really understood like what I was doing, I think, you know, we had our trials and tribulations as siblings, and we've taught, you know, we've moved far beyond that now, and you know, my siblings are some of the closest people in my life now. But at the time, I think it was a little tough for everybody, because no one, and not even me, understood what like I was going through and why I stuck out like a sore thumb, and you know, whatever.
But as happy as you were, that like makes me sad for any kid that's like going through something that's like indescribable in your mind at that point. Did you have a hard time in school? Like what was your middle school like?
Middle school was probably the hardest, actually.
Okay.
You know, young teenage boys are pretty gnarly, especially when they're confronted with like a kid who they just don't know what to do with, like they have no grasp of like queerness, whatever it is. So it's like oh, like look at this look at this gay kid, like they just don't know what to do with it, and so they'll be mean, you know. And you know, so that was always tough, just dealing with boys who don't,
of course,
get it. But I found my cute little nerdy friend group, and and that was like my first experience of like, okay, if I find my circle, I can be myself and I'll be okay. So that was cool. But middle school is also when I realized I was gay, or like at that time I thought I was a gay boy. So came out.
Who did you come out to first?
My friends. So like, and that's the thing of like, okay, I have this network of support where even if my parents and don't accept, okay, these people will get me. So they were the first people I told, and then I would, tell my parents, tell my family, whatever.
Your parents, so your dad was a pastor growing up?
My parents are still pastors. Yeah, so my dad is a pastor, and my mom is, she's ordained to be a pastor. She works in the children ministry in the church.
Okay, talk to me about that, because just like thinking of like what you were going through as a young kid, being in the South and having your dad
and
like a part of the
growing
church,
up
like
in the church.
How did that work out?
It's like another layer to it all of and thankfully, I didn't grow up in Catholicism or anything, and I hear about people in my community who grew up in that, and it's like, oh, hell, girl, I'm so fucking lucky that I got to grow up in a normal, even though my parents are pastors and I'm very involved in the church, in like a on the chiller side of Christianity, Presbyterian church.
Oh my god, because Catholicism is like
insane.
Like, you're gonna burn alive.
Yeah.
You're like, I am?
Yeah.
Like,
so there was never like this, oh, you're going to hell. But then I would see things about just Christianity in general where there are churches that like believe you're going to hell.
It's insane.
And so that was this whole complex that I had to get through too. And then, but thankfully when I came out as gay to my parents, I think anybody could have fucking told you by looking at me that I was gay at the time. So that was easier. Then the trans thing came on later on. That was a bit harder. But
did you feel like, not even just you as an individual, like did you and your siblings feel like you guys had this like expectation around you? Like I'm thinking of like TV shows, and I'm like, the pastor, like I'm thinking like Seventh Heaven back in the day. Like I don't know, like did you guys feel like you had to like live up to this like reputation almost?
I think it was there. Okay. And this is something that I definitely dealt with later on too in life of like because there's this whole like pastor's daughter like trope, you know, and it gets kind of tough because obviously like what I do now is very like, I mean, my first job, when I had to tell my parents that I was doing a TV show, and in the first episode I'm having anal sex with a 45-year-old and cutting myself in the arm, like all this stuff. And then, but my first thought is like, okay, they have to tell their congregation that their kids are going to be on TV, and then their congregation, who are just, little old nice white Christian people from the South, are going to watch this TV show and see me getting butt fucked. And you're like, and it's like, oh my God, I'm like, I to a degree, I still do like feel bad because that's something that they still have to deal with. My movie coming out next in a couple weeks, Kinds of Kindness, which I'm so excited about. My one scene in it, I got my titties out, girl. Like it's like, and I have no personal problems with it, but it is something where I'm like, some people just aren't gonna get it. And that's a whole other thing.
How did your parents react when you told them? And also, like, how do you sit your parents down for that? Like, is it after the dinner table? Is it a phone call? Is it a FaceTime?
Yeah.
Is it a letter?
So I didn't tell them that I was in the audition process because I really wasn't sure that I was gonna do it. Because once again, I didn't think acting was my calling or anything. It's not my plan. It wasn't my plan. So I didn't tell them until I had actually gotten the job. Okay. Which kind of left them in a situation because it didn't really give them room to like give their opinions or whatever. But I think they were just like worried because that, they don't come from this world. And sometimes I get really jealous of like my peers in this, this industry that do have like family in it because I mean, there's pros and cons, but, and for a lot of reasons, I'm really happy that my family is in this completely separate world. But like the guidance part, I think that's what they were worried about. Is I think they, even though they didn't know a lot about it, I think they know the nature of this industry can be very intense, and they just didn't want me to get like fucked up by it, you know.
That's a good point. And it also sucks, like, it's so crazy to think that like your first fucking acting job was Euphoria. Like, that is so baller. But it's also like, I get what you're saying. If your family doesn't come from the industry at all, there's also this like natural judgment of like, are you about to fuck your life up? Like, oh my God, are you making the biggest like decision that is gonna like ruin your whole life?
Exactly.
Where like other people that maybe like are more used to it, it's like, this is how it goes. Like, get the role.
I just had to tell them. I had to be like there it is. I think I used the word risque, and I don't think
Hunter, just like a little risky.
And then cut to them at the premiere. Like, I don't think my mom could even watch it. Like, it's, you know, it's insane. It's insane.
You're like, oh my God. It's almost like when you watch a movie with your parents that has a sex scene when you're young.
And you're like,
and you're pretending you're like going to get your ice cream at the time because it's so awkward. Meanwhile, you're like, so that's me.
Yeah.
And I can't run away from this. Oh my God. God bless you, honestly. Like, that is strength within
it's
strength.
So
like,
nuts. It's so nuts.
I'm curious though, when you were talking about kind of closing out that like chapter of middle school, obviously everyone needs a fucking outlet of like, I am dealing with all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I remember reading, like, you said you journaled. I don't know if it was in middle school, but like, what did you do to like feel less alone with all these thoughts?
Well, yeah, I think, and it's just part of my nature too. And I think part of like the pressure cooker that I sort of placed myself in growing up in a place where I was so unhappy with my surroundings is I really like devoted my free time and like my life to like my art, and at the time it was visual arts where I put all my creative energy, but I knew that is like my gift, is like I'm an artist, and it's still to this day, like I know that that's what I was put on this earth to do, was to like make stuff, but you know, at the time it was visual arts, and so I did everything that I could to just kind of like put all my energy into that. And you know, it ended up being like my first job. Like in high school, my first job was contributing to, you know, making little watercolor comics for an online magazine and
incredible.
Stuff, you know. And so that was like, this is what's gonna get me out of here and get me to where I want to be in life, you know. Yeah, it's
so, even hearing you say that, it's so hard in general being a child, but like at that point it just sucks because like there are so many kids that get to live their life and be like not having to escape and get to like go to the fucking playground and like frolic around. You being like, I was trying to like use this as an escape so I didn't have to like deal with like what the fuck was going on in reality.
Yeah.
Then you get to high school. Did you ever like talk to anyone that you felt like actually understood you?
Well, so I mean, this is the thing, is like when the trans thing started coming up, and that kind of started coming up with the onset of puberty, which I was experiencing severe like levels of anxiety that no, like, you know, middle school or high schooler should be going through at that time, for especially around something that's, you know, quote unquote inevitable. And I realized that this like wasn't normal. And then I turned to the internet because I didn't even know what being trans was. I had no idea that there were trans people in the world. And that's the kind of isolating piece of like growing up in the South. Nobody talks about it. There's no people in my line of sight that like are this. And then so like I, you know, went to the internet, I looked on YouTube and found out like, oh shit, it isn't my destiny. It doesn't have to be my destiny to become a fucking man and grow a beard, you know, and all that stuff. But then it's the whole thing of like, okay, now that I know that this is my tea, I have to get everybody else on board because I'm still a fucking kid, you know? So that was harder because I didn't know what it was. My parents didn't know what it was.
Right.
And that was a bit harder as far as like, you know, there were moments of like when I first came out where like I told them like I'm a girl and they were like, no, you're not, like, you know, but it's not because I think they've always known like deep down, but like they didn't, there's when you don't know like what it is, like there's no way to like real or I don't know, contextualize that.
Right. It's like the concept, like when you say that, like to actualize it,
Yeah.
like people have a hard time, especially because like you're saying, like no one around you guys, like you could relate to.
Yeah.
So you're coming to your parents with this information, and like obviously some parents are fucking awful when it comes to this, but it sounds like your parents, and
They came along.
Right. They were just like, I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah. And I think they started realizing, because with the onset of puberty and everything is where my first, I've dealt with mental health, you know, for a while now. But that's when it first started showing up in depression and anxiety, and my grades started fucking up, and I became, you know, kind of, I was becoming a shell of a person, and I think they could see that, and then they were like, shit, okay, this is like, we got to figure this out, you know?
Right. And that's what's like so heartbreaking for houses that like don't accept their child, because it's like, what, like, let them be who they need to be, because you're right, like you're becoming a shell of a person because you're not like who you authentically know you need to be inside, and everything is telling you one thing, and then everyone is like, no, don't do that.
Well, I think it's out of love, like I think it's like, you know, and I think it's like my parents' first reaction was like that, because like they love me, they want me to be okay, and I'm pitching them this insane idea that I want to chop my dick off and become a woman, like, you know, like you know, and that's a very crude way of putting it, but like to sort of like get my point across, like and I think no one wants anybody that they love to like endure a harder life than they have to, but sometimes that's the fucking tea.
What I love about you, and like even sitting here, your energy is just like so incredible, and I think back to like younger you, obviously like going through it, but like what kind of like traits, I don't know if that's the right word, but like traits do you think like you gained through like having to really like endure a lot of like turning inward within yourself and like betting on yourself and relying on yourself?
Being trans has been one of the great challenges of my life, and it sucks that I had to deal with it so young, and that I live in a world that, you know, is constantly fighting me on that, and it absolutely fucked me up, and I'm still dealing with the ramifications of that today, but at the same time I would not have it any other way, because it has taught me, and it's why I'm so thankful for it, it has taught me that like the power of intuition, and kind of like the proof that I have like a soul, and, you know, and like and that like all the answers are inside of me, you know, and at least for my truth and my life and whatever, and like that is like priceless, and it's something that I use as, you know, a grounding force in everything that I do in my life now, you know, so I'm so thankful for it, you know.
No, first of all, like, thank you for sharing all that, because I know it's personal, and I really appreciate you opening up, because like when you're saying the intuition thing within yourself, it almost like made me cry, because I'm like, that is so fucking real. And so many people watching this are probably gonna like,
that's why I want to share this stuff.
It's incredible. And like just sharing your experience, like that is like so powerful to be like, lean the fuck into what you feel. Stop listening to what everyone else is saying. I know it's so fucking hard. But when you can start to channel that, like, we all know what's best for ourselves.
Exactly.
No one else does.
And you can even like, it's so weird, like your layers of like consciousness and everything, because you can totally on surface level be telling yourself something is right for you, when in reality, deep down, and you know it's there, but you won't look at it, like you're only looking at this thing that you're telling yourself, but deep down, you know, you always know.
You always know.
You know?
You can try to avoid it sometimes. You're like, that's literally not happening.
And you literally put yourself in your own psychosis of like believing in this reality that is not actually
it's
your
so real.
It's so crazy.
I also appreciate, like, as we're kind of just going through your life, I wonder, and you don't need to answer, but like, is it annoying sometimes, because like a big part of your life is like this moment that you realize like, oh, like I don't know if I'm like happy with the way that I was like born, and I want to be this way, and like I'm so happy with myself now, but like, is it annoying when you're in interviews that like Like
I've talked about this before
because I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to ask you about it. That's why I was like, oh, we got to high school in your life. Like,
I know.
what happened in high school? Like, I would ask anyone on the show, and I hope you know, like, you can talk about it as much or not as much as you want, but like, are you like, can we move on? Like, I'm this like,
so I
cute
thought
girl.
about this today because I just recently had an interview come out where I fucking. This was the longest interview I've ever done. It was 2 like 4-hour sessions, and so I really just I was hyped up on caffeine. I was yapping. I was talking about whatever I wanted to, and I gabbed about how fucking frustrating it is to because like in interviews for like press things when I'm promoting a movie or something, it's oftentimes the first thing an interviewer will ask about because it's what makes me unique and they know that it'll get clicks, you know. But what's frustrating to me about that is I'm here to promote my work in a movie that has nothing to do with that, and you are just fishing for things that will get you clicks. And that's what's so frustrating to me about that. This today, when what I love about this podcast is that you like we're talking about real shit and life and whatever, and I can't really talk about my life in full honesty without talking about it. And it is something I do believe, because I didn't really, fame is something that I'm like, I didn't really, I knew what I want to do like with my life often involves fame to some degree. It's not something that I thoroughly enjoy, but I do feel like I have been put in this position in order to help progress like the movement.
But do you ever feel exhausted from that? Like it's not your fucking job to educate people?
All the time. All the time. And that's the thing. I don't like talking about like just like educating people on like the fact like bitch, Google is like literally that's how I learned about it. So you can certainly do it too. But as far as like my experience and also helping other young trans people who might watch this or watch some of my other work, which sometimes I do incorporate my transness into my work, you know, that's who I'm doing it for, you know? So.
Yeah. I feel like there's a difference between like genuinely and authentically just like speaking about your experience. And people are like, oh, like I like what she said there, versus being like, so Hunter in high school. And you're like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm promoting the Hunger Games. Why are you asking me about what it was like being a tranny growing up in the church? Like what the fuck are we talking about?
Yes. No, I respect that. And I just wanted to hear from you because I bet it's fucking annoying. Speaking of high school, did you like dabble with drugs and alcohol at all? Were you like pretty clean? Like
so, and that's something that I think the church thing that I'm pretty thankful for is I did, you know, I would smoke weed with my friends, and now I've come to learn I fucking hate weed. Is not for me. I cannot smoke it, and I had this really horrible experience with it, like when I was like 18, 19 or something, where I smoked and I literally thought I was in hell, and then I've never done it again. So I'm like really off of it. That's the only thing that I kind of dabbled with, and then like, you know, drinking here and there, but never really getting into it. That's been more of like a early 20s thing, you know.
You need to be like in your room, like by yourself, or that could be scary, or with one friend that you trust, and like ease in.
Yes, because that's my thing with weed is like, because some people can just smoke and just like kiki, and bitch, that is not how, like when I have smoked weed in the past, I become nonverbal. I'm on the floor and like a creature. Like that's just when I have smoked, that's my tea. That's what I give.
Terrifying.
And you can't do that around, especially people you don't know. Then you're like psych yourself out. And
like Hunter, you're like,
yeah, I'm just like no.
And also they're like, it's weed. Like it's not that deep. And you're like, it is that deep.
It is that deep. I think weed is one of the most psychedelic drugs on the fucking planet. I mean, that's a stretch, but like it's I think it is very psychedelic.
Okay, let's talk about Euphoria. Call Her Daddy is brought to you by eBay. This is what you do when you have high standards and fancy all the fancy things, like a Dior saddlebag or that diamond tennis bracelet, you go to eBay. There you'll find new loves that will never disappoint, expertly authenticated, whether it's that vintage pearl necklace or brand new ruby earrings, a Prada crossbody bag, or classic watches like that Rolex Oyster or that Cartier tank. On eBay, there are no limits to your high standards. Yeah, eBay, the place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay, things people love. Okay, let's talk about Euphoria.
Okay.
I think I read somewhere, but like, I don't know if you've ever actually like told the whole story like on a show where I can hear you.
Yeah.
Tell me the story of how you got the role and like how it all came to be.
I was taking gap year.
Okay.
And modeling in New York at the time. I got scouted over Instagram, blah, blah, blah. I go to model. I'm like, I want to make some money. That's not what happened, by the way. But I left modeling in debt. But
you can dream.
That's another story. Anyways, I'm doing like my model give. And you know, right as I'm getting ready to like go to college, because that was my plan. I was gonna save up money, whatever, go to college. Then this casting call comes about, and I see it floating around on Instagram, and then my agency tells me that they have asked me to come in. And so this happened with, there are a handful of trans girls working. There's a lot more now. There's like a handful of trans girls working in modeling at the time. We had all gotten asked to come in for this audition. And I was really like, I don't know, because it's like trans and it's, you know, not written by a trans. I'm like, I don't know. And then, but I go in because they really want me to, and because I'm like, okay, let's just like see what this is about. And I went in, and by the way, I've no acting experience. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I got in, and the great thing is that they essentially just wanted me to play myself. So I got to basically just like be myself with lines. And I think that whatever it was, it worked for them, you know, so I keep getting callbacks. Eventually they fly me out to LA for like a final audition, in front of all these HBO execs in this crazy room. And then I find out later that afternoon that, I got the role. And, you know, and I was still teetering on like, was not my plan. And this changes everything. And I have to be completely honest. Then I saw the paycheck, the per episode, and I was like, this is more money than I've ever seen in my whole entire life. I don't think I can say no to this. And frankly, at that point, I had also read more of the episodes. I really liked the show, you know, so it's a combination of those things. And I really liked the showrunner, Sam. We had really good meetings, and I was like, okay, I feel like, and it's the same thing that keeps happening where I'm being handed this thing. I think I have to take it. And so I did.
It's so crazy that like you had no interest in fame. And obviously, like, I'm assuming like once you took the show, you guys didn't know it was going to be like what it was going to be. So,
well, I think we all knew it was something special when we were making it. We all we loved the first season. Oh, it was so magical. Like we all loved it so much. And we still like, we look back on it as like, wow, like we all got to grow up inside of this thing together. It's really special. But yeah, we didn't know that it was going to become what it did. Yeah.
Can you like take me to that moment where you're like realizing like the show's out, fame is happening, everyone knows your name? Like,
yeah, it's one of the most surreal things I've ever been through, because it's because you're still the same person. So I'm still the same person, but then the entire world's relationship to you changes like that. And it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was really, it threw me for a fucking loop. And thank God we all, the cast and I, came up in this together, and we were able to like lean on each other in this just like really surreal experience. Because I don't know how I could have fucking handled it if I didn't have them. And, you know, like particularly Z, who's one of my best friends in the world to this day, Zendaya. and she, you know, thankfully she had some experience with fame already, and we were really close by the time we really like kind of, you know, fell in love with each other as friends in the first season, and she was able to help me through all of that too. But it was very surreal, and I wouldn't say I had no interest in fame, because I knew fame could get me the things that I wanted to do in life, and I knew that could be a tool, but it's not like I had any and I still don't really have any personal, like, I don't personally gain anything from it. If anything, it's just like made existing in public a little harder as a socially anxious person. But like, but it's an amazing tool to like get what I want and to make what I want happen.
No,
you know?
It's so interesting you say that, because people always say like, oh, people think they want fame and money, but if you just hand them money, then they actually don't even need the fame.
That part.
Right.
Because
like,
bitch, if I could walk away from all of this with the money and not have, life would be perfect.
And some people like it. Like, I get that. But like,
yeah, some people do. And some people are meant for it. Some people were like, this is what you were supposed to do, diva.
Do you have a moment where you were like, found yourself like very overwhelmed by it all, and you like were shutting down?
So I remember some of the first moments of getting recognized in public happening. Like, I think me and Barbie were at a cafe, and you know, the first like 4 episodes or something were out, and it hadn't really started. But then but we're just at a cafe minding our own business, and then we have people start coming up to us, and it's the first time this has ever happened to me, and it's just really surreal. And then I think the moment that I really realized things were changing was I was in New York doing press, and it's one of those interviews, I forget what it's called, but it's like kind of public, because they do the interview in this like corner glass
like
thing.
the Today Show vibe,
No,
where it's like
the Today Show.
But like people can see you.
People can see you from the inside. And you know, so I walk in to do this interview, and everything's kind of normal. And then by the time I come out from doing the interview, a crowd and paparazzi have amassed, and then we get followed around, and my mom is there with me too, and we get followed around by these paparazzi for the rest of the day. And just coming from what I come like, and it was, I couldn't fucking process it. And it's scary, because like getting followed and having people scream at you and stuff, it puts you in like a fight or flight. Like it's like because you know, you can understand on a surface level what's happening, but your body doesn't know that,
and you feel like you're in a cage, because you're like, well, I can't open my car door.
Exactly.
So you're just kind of like, I'm sad.
Yeah.
Is your mom like, what the fuck?
I think I mean, my mom was great, because I think she knew that I was really overwhelmed, so she was just there for me.
Yeah.
But I think we both at the end of that day were just like, what the fuck
just
like,
happened?
Yeah. And then, you know, it's kind of never been the same since.
Well, and I appreciate you sharing, like, you're like, I'm a socially anxious person. So, like, naturally, this isn't something that I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, how do you, in moments where your life is feeling too Hollywood, like, how do you come back to being, like, Hunter yourself, not, like, Hunter Schafer, like, Prada, Vogue, all the things.
Yeah. And it's taken a while, but I've created this dichotomy between the Hunter Schafer that I give to the world, and then, like, Hunty, who that's what my friends call me and everything. Like those are two different people. And so like the famous Hunter is kind of like my drag, and having those be separate is so important for my fucking sanity.
Yeah.
And it's also, it's one of my greatest gifts in this life is I have wonderful, wonderful friends and family. And they're people, a lot of them have been around before I got famous, and so they know me, and you know, can't really project my drag onto me. Like they know me for me. And so having them there is just amazing. Like priceless. Yeah.
That's amazing that you've like been able to figure that out pretty quickly, because that takes some people like a really long time.
It was not quick.
Right. Okay. Well, even though like you don't think it's quick, some people literally get to the point where like at the end of their career, they're like, I should have like disconnected more. Yeah. And I do think, thank God you have your friends and family that are like, you're hunty, bitch.
Yeah.
And don't forget it. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to treat you like you're just hunty and you're not Hunter Schafer. And we're not going to treat you different because
exactly
that causes people to become monsters, that they're like, do this for me and do this for me. And then you're not even a real human. You're a robot.
No, you're like, yeah, it's psycho, and it's sad to watch because you know, we do watch it happen to people sometimes. Lot. Yeah.
Obviously, I have to ask, is season 3 happening? Like, what are we doing?
Girl. You know, obviously I like the real tea is I have no idea. Fucking idea what's going on. And you can ask literally all of the cast. And it's you know, I mean, here's the real tea is that a lot has happened. But at least for me and knowing where the rest of the cast is at and everything too, I mean, a lot has happened. We have had and it's hard to talk about, but you know, we've had deaths. Girl, I'm gonna get emotional. Okay. And it's I think everyone feels a certain sense of sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Anticipation for like if we are supposed to do this season 3 of like obviously I'm still coming to qualms with what's happened and losing people that we really loved and were a part of this family and everything, you know. And I think if we do go back, it's that's gonna be tough. I mean, and I think there's a world in which we can channel that into making it a beautiful season 3 if it is supposed to happen. But I think, you know, that shit really threw everyone for a loop. So on an emotional level, and then there's, you know, all these, you know, industry, whatever political things that go into whether or not this is happening. But that's emotionally, I think, where a big part of what's happening too, you know.
I'm so fucking sorry, and like it clearly, like, you were obviously so close when you even talk about the cast. I'm just so sorry because like when you talk about like this rise, like this became like your family. Yeah. Like these are people that you were like, fuck, I don't know how to handle this. None of us know how to handle this. Let's all lean on each other. So like I can't imagine, and I'm so sorry. And like,
thank you.
There is no right or wrong whether you guys come back or don't. Like it's been one of the most incredible rides. And you guys have done such an incredible job. And like, thank you for giving your life to something that has like really brought so many people like entertainment and happiness. And like, there's a lot of themes that I think people have like loved that are very progressive and have just like helped a lot of people. So whether it comes back or not,
thank you.
We love you all.
Thank you.
And we support you.
Thank you. And thank you for being real with me and let me give my emotional tease and whatever, because it's still, I'm still in it, girl. It's crazy.
Grief is a motherfucker, and it's not linear. And some days you'll see a picture and it will hit you, or like a thing in the street, and you're like, it'll
hit me on the fucking toilet out of nowhere. It's just like, you know,
you never know.
It's crazy.
You never know. Call Her Daddy is brought to you by the original Peacock film Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. You heard that right, Daddy Gang. Our girl Bridget is back for one last chapter. Renee Zellweger returns to her role as the iconic rom-com heroine that defined a genre. Now juggling 2 kids, going back to work, and the world of online dating, Bridget is just as endearing and hilarious as ever. Also, back are fan favorites like her best friend Schafer, Dr. Rawlings, and yes, Hugh Grant as the charming yet devious Daniel Cleaver. Of course, Bridget wouldn't be Bridget if she weren't once again caught between 2 hot love interests played by Leo Woodall and Chiwetel Ejiofor. So pour yourself a drink, don't forget the tissues, and make it a movie night with Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, streaming only on Peacock. Okay, I'm gonna shift our energy and we're gonna play Would You Rather.
Oh shit!
And then we're gonna get into dating.
Okay, yeah, okay. We're reorienting.
Okay. Here we go. We're gonna play Would You Rather. Mm-hmm. Would you rather wear Euphoria style makeup every day for the rest of your life, or never wear makeup again?
Never wear makeup again. Easy. No shade to Euphoria makeup.
No,
I just am a no makeup girl.
Love it.
Yeah.
You're gorgeous.
Thank you.
Okay. Would you rather send a nude to the wrong person or accidentally send a sext to your mother?
That's insane, Alex Cooper. That's such a fucking crazy question. I would. Well, it depends on who's getting the nude. Because like my friends and I, like we get, they see me naked. It's no big deal.
You maybe like you send it to an
But
ex.
what if I fucking send it to my mom? Then that's might just be as bad as the sex. You know what? I think, my mom has seen me get butt fucked on television. I think she can handle an accidental sext, and we can recover from that.
I love that. That
Thank
says
you.
so much about you and your
What
mom.
would you do?
Honestly, I guess I was gonna say the nude, but again, it depends who it's to. Because if like I'm looking cute, I'm like, like it's like accidentally send it to an ex. I'm like, but
right, that's
right, like, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's to like a coworker
or like a producer, an executive, oh no, ma'am,
awful.
Absolutely not.
I think my mom, depending on the level of the sex, like if it's like a choke on your cock situation, I'm like, Mom,
this is such a crazy question.
I wrote it. I'm like, what is wrong with me?
I pray for both of us that we never have to deal with that.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too. What is your opinion on sexting?
It's like I've tried.
Mm-hmm.
I've had cute moments with it. It's never ideal, I would say.
It's exhausting.
It's
for me personally.
I personally hate texting in general.
Done.
If we're gonna talk, FaceTime me. I'm a FaceTime girl. So the texting, no.
Have you ever reused a nude?
Absolutely.
The best.
Absolutely.
Perfect use of your time.
Yes.
You're like, ooh, let me go into the storage closet.
Yeah.
Let me pick out which one I'm loving today.
Go to the library, pick it out. Yeah, get that shit out there.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Drunkenly hook up with a friend who you know has feelings for you and you don't have feelings back.
Uh-huh.
Or you have to get back with your most recent ex for a month.
Okay, actually, you know what? No, like my friendships, especially a lot of I come from a lot of lesbians in my circle. And I don't know how many lesbians you've talked to, but most of everybody has already had sex with each other and probably will again. And that is very much the case for me in my like lesbian friend group. So that would probably be no problem if that happened.
Easier.
Again.
Have you ever hooked up with a friend and regretted it?
I don't know. I don't really regret too much.
Okay.
No, I've definitely like drunkenly done things where I'm like, ooh, girl, like that, like that didn't need to happen. But it's not
right.
no shade, no nothing.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
What is going on in your dating life? Are we single
right now?
Are we dating?
No, I'm single as fuck.
Okay. Are you loving it?
I am loving it. So yeah. So I mean, like I think it is perfect for where I'm at in life right now. Because especially given this past week's stuff where I am about to undertake this enormous project. And the last time I did it, I was in my first relationship when I first started Euphoria. And I didn't know going into it how much of me it takes, and I really live in that world when I'm doing it. And like that relationship didn't end up working out because I just had no capacity to like do a relationship. So I think it is so perfect that I am single as a Pringle right now, because I get to just dive in head first into this.
It's amazing.
But yeah, my last relationship was like, I don't know, it's where we hit the year mark a little bit ago, since we broke up. So yeah.
Do you prefer someone in the industry or not in the industry?
It's not really it's still tough, and I still like don't totally know, but because I've done both. And they both are really nice for their own reasons, because obviously, and I have this with my friendships too, where like I my job and my life that I live requires me to be on standby all the time. I found out that I'm spending the rest of the year in Europe like not even a week ago. And you know, it's like it's hard to maintain relationships. And so the people that have stuck around in my life know that I operate on this level where like, you know, and it's all like my best friendships are like this, where like we can go a month or however long and not talk, and then when I come back or when they come back, we can pick right back up where we left off. That's how I operate in my relationships. I like, it's just how it is right now. And so yeah, like with the relationships too, it's like it's nice dating other people in the industry because they also work like that,
right? So they get it. Like they're not going to be annoyed that you're like leaving for a certain amount of time.
Because I've had friendships end because they're just like, girl, like
where are
what's
you?
Where are you? Yeah.
Like, I have work.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What is the best first date you've ever been on?
Best first date I've ever in. So the date, like dates is like not I'm just now getting into like the era of my life where like I'm an adult and I feel like more like the idea of someone asking me on a date or me asking someone on a date, like a first date where you go to dinner and you like get to know each other. Like I haven't done a whole lot, like a lot of like my previous stuff is like we start out as friends or random hookup, blah 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 blah. Right. And then it turns into whatever it is. But I would like the dating thing. It sounds fun.
Take note, okay?
Did you go on a first date with your husband?
I did. It was like the best first date I ever had.
Yeah.
Which is annoying because I hate that. Like I feel like some dates can be great first dates and then they like turn out to be fucking shit. Mm-hmm. It turns out that he wasn't a dick. He actually was a lovely guy and I ended up marrying him. But I've had good first dates, but I've had awful first dates before. I also think like it is more normal sometimes to just like go from friends and then all of a sudden you're just like hanging out at your house, your apartment, and like that's fine too.
Yeah.
Have you ever had it where like after a first hookup you're like, oh my fucking God, the chemistry was so insane. Like I must see this person again.
Yeah.
So you've had that before.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And that tends to be when those like what will turn into a relationship. Yeah.
Okay. Who is currently your celebrity crush?
Oh God. Oh God. Let's see. Who is
non-offensive to say that you won't have to run into next week?
Oh no. Let's see. Alex, I don't know. I can't like say this stuff.
Actor?
I'm trying to think.
Musician.
No, well, I have a type.
Okay. Oh, what's your type?
I love a musician.
True.
I've dated a couple now.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that.
I've dated a few now. I love a musician.
One with like long hair, one with like short hair.
You know, it's like the little sucker in me that's just like, oh my God, you are so charismatic and you will play the guitar, whatever. And I'm like, goo goo gaga.
Has anyone ever written you a song?
Yeah.
Hunter.
Yeah. Oh, and trust me, they know what they're doing too. They know what they're doing with that, but it works, Diva. Oh my God.
Like on the guitar, just like sitting on the bed.
You know, yeah, or like, you know, send it to you, and you know, like, you know, yeah, it's it works. I fear for anyone who has this happen to them because you're done. You're gone. You're
done.
Yeah.
If you meet another musician, do you think you're gonna be like, I have to break the curse and the pattern, or are you gonna go back? Are you talking to any musicians right now? Like, if you find a musician that you like again, are you gonna just go right back in?
Oh, girl. I mean, no. So like the thing that's tough with musicians, or at least in like my line, or like with successful musicians who are like doing tours and stuff, is like it's. I mean, I guess it's the same thing with actors where they have to go off for however many months and tour, and then I'm working for how it's like, it's very hard. So I don't know if that is like in my path again, because I've done it and I've tried it and really tried to make it work, and it's just very hard, and I don't have, at least at this point in my life, I don't have the capacity to like figure out how that works. Maybe someday though. We'll see.
Do you like how I like let you off the hook? I'm like, okay, you don't have to answer.
I'm like, I really
okay.
wanted to give an answer.
You'll
but
tell me
it's
after.
like,
You'll tell me after.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you fall in love easily?
So like falling in love is like so like I'm still like figuring out like what it means, because I've been in love with people who are like still some of my best friends to this day, and like we were definitely like in love at that point, but it's changed in its nature, and I still love the shit out of this person, but it's not like that infatuation thing. So I feel there's a part of me that's like, is being in love like just a deep infatuation, and then like that sort of subsides, and then it just becomes like you just love this
the person.
I don't know. It's sort of funny, but I know what being in love. It's like a whole body, like you know, right?
Yeah. But I think that makes sense. I think you're like at that point in your life where you're like experiencing these relationships.
I've been through it enough now.
Yes, but like you may find someone at some point that you're like, oh,
yeah,
wait, that is different than infatuation.
Right.
That's when you'll know, is when you're like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
Because love for me when I was younger, like it really, I went through a point where it was just infatuation. Then I was like, is this love or is this infatuation?
Right.
And then I think when I met Matt, I was like, oh, this is like different.
Yeah. With my past relationships, I've been like, we were in love. Like, I know what that is. Yeah. And it's confusing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because it feels different with every partner also.
Yeah. And I also don't believe in like one true love necessarily.
No, I completely agree. How do you handle when people like public opinion on your like romantic relationships?
That is something that I have learned so my last relationship was my first public relationship. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. At some point when you're doing it, it gets just too hard to like, I mean, you can try to hide it, but like whatever. But I've also come to this point just with fame in general where like people are gonna say what they're gonna say, and I really don't give a shit. Because like, you know, I get called a man hundreds of times on the internet every single day. It's like I'm so used to like the just fucking idiots just like saying bullshit all the time. So like it's, you know, on one hand it's like I don't care, and then on another hand it's like, if you don't like, obviously a relationship is like personal and private, and like you should not be, you need to eliminate as many factors that are going to make it more complicated than it needs to be if you can. So I don't know, it's something when I start dating again or something, I'll
well, I think it's interesting too, like you said, like this was your first like public relationship, and I think there's pros and cons where you're like, finally we can just like be, and like we can go into an event together like as we would want to naturally do, but then you're like, people are taking pictures and then people are staring, and then when you break up, someone like me is asking you about it, girl. And then you're like, Alex, don't ask.
Well, no, I'm excited to be talking about love and everything. Like it's not like things that I don't want to talk about necessarily, because I've learned a lot, and something that I really love about all my relationships is I like, you know, even if like bad shit has happened in them or whatever, or they have like fucked me up to some degree or something, that they have all I feel like all of my relationships I've come out knowing that it taught me something about myself and about people, and that's like, I feel really thankful for that, you know.
Absolutely. I feel like that's like the best takeaway from any relationship, anything in life, even if it's not romantic. It's a friendship, it's a work relationship. When I was researching you, I was reading something where like your former co-star / relationship, he kind of like talked about like his need for like to get out of like his codependent tendencies. Yes. I'm sure you read this. Yeah. Were you on the same page? Like is a breakup like where you're like blindsided, or like were you okay? Like
so like he said that but that breakup was it was like a mutually like it was a mutually agreed upon, and it's one of the cleaner breakups I've had, of like we both recognize that this is not working and we can't do this, we gotta go our own separate ways. And it was so hard because we really loved each other, you know, and he's a really special person, and I love his soul and everything, and by no means was that it was messy, you know, but
Yeah.
it was a clean parting, and he has a lot to work on, and I also have a lot to work on, like,
Yeah.
and so I think that's also why I'm in this like era of like I gotta figure my shit out, because
Right.
we had a really good thing, but there were things in our own selves that had nothing to do with each other that kept coming up in the way of the relationship, you know? So
100%.
yeah.
What are you like in a relationship?
I think it's different for everyone. Like, it's really different with every kind of person too, because I used to exclusively date not men.
Okay.
And this last relationship was my first relationship with a man, a cis man, you know. And so it's different. It's very different than that, like, dating. I've dated trans women, I've dated trans men, I've dated cis women, and all of it, you know, I've kind of been around the block, and it changes. The transness is really interesting because everyone interacts with it differently. Everyone has their own, like, you know, like way of approaching it, and I have my own way of approaching that relationship with that kind of it's interesting. It's a
Do you
sort of like
mind
code
sharing
switching.
a
Yeah,
little?
no,
Okay.
I'm excited to like talk about
Yeah,
it.
this is interesting.
Yeah. So I'm so thankful for my first relationship.
Okay.
And I've talked about this before too. It was with a trans woman. And it was my entrance into sex, romance, all of that stuff. All of those were firsts in that relationship, and it was with another trans woman. Thank God. And I'm and we're still friends to this day too. You know, she kind of like showed me the ropes, because you know, dating as a trans person it's complicated. Let me tell you, it's not easy. And to know in my first relationship and in my first like really being in this mutual love thing, you know, first time having sex, that I got to do it with somebody who completely understands my gender.
It's incredible.
And sexual. I'm so thankful for it. And so I'm really thankful that I started out with other trans people, because there's sort of being trans or having trans people in your life. There's a lens that you sort of acquire, and it's something that like ignorant people who have no idea how to like engage with trans people or think about trans people, they don't have the lens that allows them to see whatever person as the gender that they are presenting as or whatever. And this is a lens that you acquire as you like, you know, spend more time with trans people and everything. And so like knowing that lens is there with whoever I was with, amazing. And then it's interesting branching out from there into like cis people, cis women or cis men, where I'm not sure that they have the lens, even with hookups or whatever. This is a constant anxiety I've had with hooking up with like cis women or something, is that I'm worried, especially also because I'm pre-op, that maybe are they seeing something in me that is not part of what I give or something, and they might want, and I've had hookups before with like cis women where they wanted me to like fuck them or something, like a guy. Yep. And it's because I have a dick, and like that's like, and then like that coming up in a hookup and being like, oh God, like it's tough. But then you will find cis people who do know and just get it. And that's what was so amazing about my ex-boyfriend, was from the get-go, never a fucking, he saw me exactly for who I was, which is amazing.
It's amazing too. I appreciate you describing this too, because like
it's kind of hard to
no, but like I'm keeping up with you, because what first of all, I'm so happy for you, and I know everyone doesn't have that experience, is like the fact that you were with someone you felt so safe with, mm-hmm. and you were like, oh, you get me because we're similar.
So it's a privilege to come across people in romance and sex and dating where that lens is there.
if someone understandably is like, I don't know, like what
Yeah.
you want, and they come to you like vulnerable of like,
Yeah.
I really like you, like, are you open to like,
That's such a turn on.
Right.
Oh my God. Like,
tell me
because
what you
then
want.
They are coming because, you know, it puts their intention on the table of,
Mhm.
oh, I like you. I do want to do this with you. I'm just a little inexperienced here. Love that. Love that. Amazing. It's when they don't and they don't know what they want, or they want something
Right, and
that
you're like,
I am not capable of giving, then it's like sticky and gross.
so your first relationship with a guy, like just like a guy that was
Also my first monogamous relationship.
okay.
Everything else had been polyamorous
Were
because
you-
that's what I came up in. That's how I learned relationships. And I kind of touched on it before.
Yeah.
I had built up a complex against men.
Understandable.
And so like, because most, if not all of my deeply painful experiences I've had in life have been with men. And so I really like came into this complex of, I never want to let a man that close to me in my life. I don't see a world in which it's possible. Really, I was kind of like it was, you know, I put up walls and kind of had been denying the fact that I am attracted to men and I do want to date and whatever men, and that's okay, and I need to let my walls down. And so that's what was so amazing about my last relationship too, is also, and that's kind of what was cool about the public aspect, is this is a straight guy who is in the music scene too, and we are in a public relationship. He's dating a trans woman, and he's completely straight. He's only dated cis women before, and he's toting me around, happy to be my boyfriend in front of the world. And people are saying horrible, nasty shit because it's like, oh, you know, oh, you're so he's gay.
Yeah.
He didn't care at all, and that was something that really showed me too, where I'm like, okay, you really, you see me for, you know, and you love me for that.
Did you guys have conversations before going out in public together? Like, were you anxious at all?
I was anxious, but I was also just head over heels in love and happy to be doing it. And, you know, conversations absolutely should have been happening, but also I was like 22, 23,
Right.
and, you know, I was just like, oh, I'm in love. Right. This person is, this is so much fun, you know, whatever. So it should have been a thing, but it wasn't.
But I think also just to,
and listen, I've said all these amazing things with him. He was not perfect, and it's no secret. It's out there in the world, you know, and it's part of why the relationship ended. Is I got cheated on for the first time, and he's talked about this too, like in his song. He writes about it, so it's fine to be talking about it today, and it's like part of my truth. But that like fundamentally changed me as a person, and it was this whole process of like realizing that cheating has nothing to do with you
at all,
and
oh my God.
and it has everything to do with that person and whatever kind of pain they're in or whatever they're dealing with. It's all that, but it's so hard.
I was about to say, because in the moment it feels like it's all about you.
Yes,
you're like, what did I do
yes
wrong? And then eventually, I love that you're obviously like a year out, you're clearly at that place where you're like, I can, you know that, and you're saying it with confidence, but in the moment you're literally like,
oh yeah. And then as a trans woman also, with a man who has never dated that before, then it's my mind, you know, and I knew it wasn't the truth.
Yeah.
And we both know that. I've no doubt.
But
that
you can't help but your brain goes
But my
there.
brain, because of the way I've been
Right.
socialized as a trans woman, like, and it's been this like crux in my life of like why life has been so hard sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, like, is this it? Like, can I just not like, you know?
Yeah.
But so it's cuckoo bananas.
How did you find out?
So I kind of knew, you know, you always kind of know.
The gut.
Yeah, the gut. And because I kind of knew, I went into the phone, you know. Yeah.
Hunter, welcome to
Which
I'm
not proud of.
I'm not proud of either.
I'm not
I've done it
proud of
before, but the amount of people that have sat here and been like, it's fucking normal, because when your intuition is like hitting you in the face, you're like, okay, fine, I'll look.
Yeah.
And the reason you're looking is because you fucking kind of know something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
this stuff, it makes me so nervous to talk about this stuff, because I have no interest in letting the public into what happened and everything.
Yeah.
I want to make this very clear. I've absolutely no fucking desire to like because what happened with that was between me and him, and I want to keep it and I want to protect that. But at the same time, I'm also I'm here to talk about my truth and whatever, you know.
And he wrote a song, and like, yes, and I agree with you. I also think like, I wish people knew sometimes like, some things like are super deep in the moment, and then when you're having a conversation, like there's no ill will. You've literally said like you were in love with this person, it ended amicably, like it's okay.
And he's the same way about it, because he's the same kind of way, like where I don't think he has any interest in letting the public in either, but we both are yappers at the end of the day, and we're gonna talk about like it's hard doing like the bullshit, like I'm putting on a face here, like you know.
Getting over a breakup, like not even specifically talking about him anymore, but like for you and what you were kind of saying, which I think is like a lot for your confidence of like, as a trans woman, you're like, fuck, like am I not, and you almost like stopped your sentence, you're like, am I not, like what came up for you when that happened, like am I not
I mean it like really, like I mean, like I said, it like fundamentally changed me, and it's still something that I am working through. But
what do you mean
I think
by that? Fundamentally changed you. What do you mean?
Just in that I don't think I understood, because I had never been in a monogamous relationship before. So my understanding of relationships and love and everything really was rooted in like polyamory and queerness and sort of the way that world works, which is very open. And I think I honestly, I kind of looked at people in monogamy and be like, oh, like you're cheating on yourself, blah, 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 which is also what RuPaul said in that interview. And you were like, no.
I literally was like, Ru, I just got married. Lay off.
Yeah, I know. And she was like, sorry, bitch. It was
literally looked at me and just like was like,
sorry.
No. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god. And you know what? I don't know where I totally land on it now. Because I've done both.
Yeah.
And you know, and I think there's validity in both, and it's really a choice, and it comes down to each individual thing. But coming from that as my background and the way I learned love, I really looked at monogamy as like you're shorting yourself and whatever. And then I got into a monogamous relationship. Oh, bitch, I get it. I get it. Like
so nice.
Yes,
so
I know. Oh, I loved it. Oh my gosh. But then it opens up the door for that kind of betrayal, which is a different world of pain.
Were you open to the concept of monogamy? Like, did he initiate or did you initiate, or you both did?
Oh no, I was open to, because you know that's what I'm coming from.
Right.
I even like at the beginning, you know, we talked about it, but you know that's not what we either of us I don't think really wanted with that, and you know, I think I mean, yeah.
Are you open to monogamy ever again?
Yeah, absolutely. I really feel like, you know,
I've given up.
I've done both now, and like I know I can be in either of those positions. But I really liked monogamy.
It's fucking powerful.
Too. It's really cool in its own way.
You're like, fuck, I hate this shit. Back to poly. Fuck you.
No, but like now I see the fault in poly, because poly is so much work. It's so much work. Monogamy is so easy because it's just like, it's very simple. It's just like, I mean, you have to communicate a lot in either way. But with polyamory, you bring other people into that and other people's relationships and whatever, and it's fine. But then you have to communicate not only about your own relationship, but about, if that's in the contract for y'all, about the other relationships that are happening and how that weighs and how to balance that with your primary partner's feelings, all that. It's like so much work. Yeah,
it's so much work, and like you're fucking busy.
I'm too busy right now, which is what, you know, what I said.
That's why we're single.
Or polyamory, I'm too busy right now. But,
okay, let's talk about the new movie that's coming out by the time this episode comes out. Cuckoo.
Right. That's what I'm. That's
why you're here.
That's why I'm here, to promote my fucking movie.
I'm like, oh my god. Okay, like monogamy. Like, this is Call Her Daddy.
Yeah.
And the reason I love having these conversations, though, is like, I get it. We can do like a press junket of like, no one wants to know more than anything about you.
Yeah.
And then we want to go see the movie because of you.
Yeah.
And we film.
And that's why I wanted to do this
Right?
podcast, because I fuck with this. So
I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you.
A horror movie.
Yes.
Your first lead role?
So this is the first movie I ever got. It's not the first movie that has come out, but
Right.
it's the first movie I ever filmed, and it's my first lead role. And
Are you so excited?
I'm so excited. I love this movie, and it really feels like a baby, and it was my first,
first movie. Okay, horror.
Mhm.
I'm such a little fucking bitch when it comes to horror. I'm literally like,
Yeah.
what's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening? Like, how did you decide on this genre? Like, did you love?
Well, I love horror.
Okay,
I
great.
grew up loving horror.
Great.
And I also think it's so fun stylistically, particularly with this director too. It was less about the genre and even the script and the story. I watched this director's who's Thomas Singer, his first film, and it's his only other piece of work I think that's like out in the world that you can like go buy on Amazon and watch. But it's called Lose, and I saw Lose and I was like, oh my God, I have to work with this person on whatever capacity. And in that audition process, I fought for that role. And I got it. And
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I love this movie.
I know this is probably like a dumb question to ask, but like the process of filming like a horror film,
Mhm.
like me, do you ever get like scared? I'm literally terrified. Like, do you ever? It's not like that though. I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, no, well, no, because there were some scary parts because we were filming in in an abandoned,
No.
yeah, here we go.
No.
An abandoned, like 20-acre post-World War II military village like module
No,
that had
no.
been abandoned for 50 years. We're shooting at night in these abandoned buildings that have just been sitting there for years. That was scary, but thankfully the cast and crew and it's such a big family.
Right.
I loved making this movie with them. And so it was so familial.
Yeah.
It was only like when you're like, oh, you have to go walk to your trailer alone and you're like in the woods in the middle of Germany and it's like, bitch, what the fuck? It's kind of scary. But otherwise, no, I mean, I'm, like in the scenes where
You're
I'm
fine.
scared, I have to be scared, obviously.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm just coming from the perspective where like I'm trying to think of like a movie that you'd be like, why were you scared about that? Like honestly, some scenes in like Vampire Diaries scared me. You know what I mean?
I still haven't seen Vampire
No, it
Diaries.
was great.
I
But
know
like, okay, let me like Halloween Town. Did you ever watch the movie? No.
Oh yeah.
I was
the
scared.
Disney,
Yeah, the Disney movie.
Yeah. No, that was scary. I remember that. Yeah, I remember.
I'm literally so afraid of like, or like on Disney shows, if it was like the like Halloween episode, I'd be like,
oh yeah, no, those were scary.
They were.
Or Twitches. Did you ever
Twitches.
Twitches and the dark cloud that
Literally
oh my God, that's
shitting
so
my
scary.
pants.
You
Okay.
remember that? Yeah, girl.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh.
Honestly, like a little pathetic, but I'm so excited for you because obviously you being like having this lead role, like it's crazy this is why I love talking to you because you started this interview being like, I didn't even know if I wanted to be a fucking actress.
Yeah.
And I like get this call and I'm like making no money from modeling and I
Yeah.
get that call and I'm like, I guess I'll do it. Now your life has changed. How has your approach, since now you're like getting on a plane tomorrow, right, to go to Europe, like how has your approach changed though to like being an actress?
Yeah. So I, because I was I was like, I was really under the belief for like a few years into it that like, okay, I'm just doing this for right now and it's helping my career, whatever. I'm making money. This is great. But I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to do. And then now I'm in this place where I've because I've been doing it and I get it now, because also you have to know, like I'm learning how to act on the spot with the first 2 seasons of Euphoria and everything.
You're so fucking good.
Thank you.
You wouldn't even know.
Thank you. But like I'm learning. I didn't understand the craft. I had no idea what I was doing, and I finally in that process and in this process of like just like letting this career happen to me, I've fallen in love with the craft, and now I'm at this place where I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't what I thought that I was put on this earth to do, but this is just another form. I get to put all my creative energy that I used to put into my journals and in my art and everything into this. And I understand how that works now. And I've fallen in love with it. So now it's at this great point where I'm like, okay, this is one of my superpowers. This is what I can do. And I love it.
Hunter, I'm going to be honest. This was like one of my favorite
Oh my God,
interviews.
stop.
No, seriously, like sitting across from you, I'm like inspired, and also like this is why I love what I do, because I've watched you, I see your social media, but like sitting with you for an hour and whatever, like you're fucking awesome.
Thank you.
And like
You
this,
too, girl.
it's just so cool because actresses we don't get to see, and even musicians, like we don't get to see as much, obviously, of your personality when you're like playing these characters.
We're putting our drag in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But today, you coming here, like stripped down, like being yourself and like opening up, I'm like, thank you so much.
And thank you for giving me I'm nervous about like, showing the world like, my real tea. It scares me, but to do it with you, thank you for making the space and everything and like just being here and kikiing with me. That's what this felt like.
You're amazing. I literally could keep going, but like I know we have to stop, but I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
What is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Hey, Zane, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Hey.
I'm so happy that you're here. We have to preface this with, my fans are watching this like, where the fuck are you guys? We are in my childhood home, Daddy Gang, okay? Zane and I are in my living room that I grew up in. Zane got here and has had to look at all the embarrassing childhood photos of me. Thank you so much for coming. I've never done an
photos, just for the record.
What did you say?
I didn't see any embarrassing photos. I think you hid them all.
Actually, there's a couple. You'll see them on your way out, and then you'll never look at me the same. I have never done a podcast in my childhood home. So this feels like a little sentimental. Also, you never really do interviews.
I don't.
When is the last time you did something like this?
I think I did an interview like 6 years ago. Was the last time I did one. Like,
so we're kind of like popping the cherry back off.
I think so, yeah.
You're getting
something like that.
So you're living in Pennsylvania, and I obviously grew up here. I loved it growing up. It's very family oriented, very suburban.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to know, like, of all the trendy spots that you could have picked, why Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people ask me that, like, they always think it's super random that I live out here. I ended up coming out here with my ex a bit, like, and I fell in love with it. Like, it was just super, like, calm and chill, like you said, suburban. And I just wanted to, like, take a break from, like, the busy city, because, like, I was living in New York for 3 years at the time. And it just got a bit overwhelming, like going out of your door to like just craziness all the time. So I just wanted a bit more like of a surrounding that like I'm used to, like where I grew up in Bradford, like in the UK. It's a lot more this kind of pace and vibe. So I feel like I just fit in better around here than I do in the trendy spots, as it were. you know.
You give trendy vibes, but I think I totally relate to that. Of like sometimes when you get
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I give trendy vibes.
You give trendy vibes. Like, look at your outfit. It's like pretty swaggy, but then you're also like hanging with the Amish folk. So it's like a good little juxtaposition, Zane. Okay. Yeah. But what I find interesting is I love that you said like you would be in New York City, and I'm assuming you would be going out and there's paparazzi everywhere taking photos of you. Pennsylvania, there ain't no paparazzi.
No, yeah, that's a great thing.
Are they finding you or no?
No, there's none out here. I think there's like laws and stuff. They're not allowed to even take photos in certain places. And
oh,
stuff
that's
too.
amazing.
So, yeah, it's cool.
Okay, the most important question: have you gone to Wawa yet?
I have. Wawa's a nighttime lifesaver out here.
I was like, how am I going to get along with Zane if he hasn't like had a love for Wawa yet?
No,
so you love
Wawa. Yeah, like late night studio sessions. There's nothing else open. You have to go to Wawa, get the meatball sub. Yeah.
It is so fucking superior. I remember growing up, and my excuse whenever I would want to go like meet up with boys would be like, Mom, like I just want to go get a Wawa sub, and she'd be like, you're not
using
getting
Wawa as your cover up. Yeah.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Airbnb. Daddy Gang, I have so much travel coming up this summer, and the thought of being away from Bruce and Henry for long periods of time makes me unwell. I'm getting a rash just thinking about it, okay? So anytime I can, I choose to stay at an Airbnb. Not only does Airbnb allow me to bring my dogs, but it also ensures that I'll have the privacy to really unwind during a vacation. You're welcome, Matt. Every time I stay in a house on a trip, I feel like a local. I can stock up the house with groceries. I can explore neighborhood bars and get to know the city even better. Being able to cook a healthy meal or just sprawl out on the couch after a long travel day is truly such a game changer. So if you're looking ahead at your summer plans and you're like, ugh, I just want to go somewhere, but you don't really know where you want to go, check out their guest favorites. Airbnb compiles all of their guest favorite homes into one place so you can be inspired to book a cozy getaway, a hiking trip, or a weekend staycation somewhere with a hot tub. Whatever you're looking for, guest favorites can help you find it. Sometimes my priority is a house with a gym. Sometimes that's actually a lie. It's Matt's priority. For me, sometimes it's more about like having the perfect bed to rot in. Maybe it's a hot tub, whatever it be. It's all about balance. As you book your 2025 travel, my number one tip is to check out Airbnb first to find the perfect place to stay, because your accommodation can really make or break the trip.
Okay, so I feel like, again, you're kind of this mysterious guy, Zane. We don't really know too much about you. You're kind of under the radar. So can you take me through a typical day in the life of Zane in Pennsylvania? Like, what are we doing? Make us feel like we're a part of your life.
A typical day for me is, it kind of varies, depends, you know, like what kind of mood I wake up in, but I take it pretty easy. Like I just, either now, because obviously I've got my daughter, like 50% of the time it's a balance between the two things. But when I'm by myself, a typical day is I'll probably wake up around like midday, have a shower, eat some food, and then like figure out if I'm going to go to the studio and do some writing, because I've been in like writing mode for a long time, just like working on my records and stuff. So just getting into the studio pretty much, and then I'll be there like all day until I got to sleep.
Then you're going to Wawa.
And then I go to Wawa,
Yeah,
yeah,
of course,
that's it,
of
yeah,
course.
and stop off for a sandwich.
Are you someone that likes to be alone?
I like my own space. I like to collect my thoughts in like a more quiet environment. I feel like when there's a lot of people around, it kind of like just gets a bit hectic for me. Yeah, I like to chill by myself from time to time, but I don't mind hanging out with people now, like on occasion, you know what I'm saying? Like it has to be the right kind of environment, and I have to like want to be there, you know?
No, I get that. I feel like that's also growing up. Like I was recently talking to some of my audience. I was meeting them in person, and we're like, it's kind of weird when you just start to grow up, you just get more specific with who you want to spend your time with. I think that's a healthy thing. Obviously, you're on a even bigger stage because you were around millions of people in stadiums and tours and everything. But I also think that's kind of relatable of like, you know what, sometimes I want to be alone, and then I'll still hang with people, but like you got to be good company.
Yeah, I've always thought like it would be, you know, a pretty normal reaction to feel that way around so many people. I think anybody who was like overwhelmed in that manner would feel, you know, a certain type of way about it. But I'm definitely learning to manage it a lot better. Like as I'm getting older, like it's more of a choice, you know, rather than a hindrance. It's not like I can't do that. It's like I'd rather prefer not to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I own it a bit more. Yeah.
You obviously love music, but can you share with us, like, what are some of your other hobbies? What are you passionate about? What's other than music?
Like my main passion, I think, outside of music is art. I love to paint and I love to draw. I do a bit of cooking.
Okay, tell me one of your dishes. Come on, I can't cook for shit.
I can
so.
cook a lot of different things, but I like to cook meat, like specifically. Like I have a smoker outside, and I like to smoke like lamb, and I cook like I'll do like grilled vegetables with it and stuff.
Oh,
but, yeah.
Is this like new, or were you always good at cooking?
I wasn't always good at cooking, unfortunately for me. No, my mum kind of spoilt me as a kid. So when I was living by myself, like at 17, there was some botch jobs done for some meals. Yeah, it wasn't great. Some disgusting stuff was going down for
like
sure.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, horrible.
Noodles.
Yeah, just sandwiches, you know, out of like crisps.
That's kind of nice to be able to know, like, you can cook, you're over there painting, you can sing. Okay, no big deal. Don't keep bragging over there. Wow, making us all look bad. Do you have animals?
I do, yeah. I've got a lot of animals. I have 3 cats, 3 dogs.
Oh, do they get along?
They're kind of like in different places. I have some dogs at one part of my house and the cats in the other. We have 3 turtles, 6 chickens.
Do you name them all?
No, I haven't. Not this time. I got too attached last time, and it made me really sad.
Did the chickens die?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I took my chicken to the vet to get a scan because something was wrong with her, and the vet laughed at me and said people don't bring chickens here. And then they still charged me for an X-ray, and then I took my chicken all the way home and cried, and she died in my arms. Yeah.
Wait, Zane, I'm like not laughing because it's funny.
It is kind of funny, but not because the chicken died, but it's just funny seeing me take a chicken to the vet.
And when you say you're holding your chicken, like, are you holding your chicken like this?
Yeah, fully on my lap, yeah. She died on my lap.
So you weren't crazy for going to the vet?
No, yeah, she had something wrong with her. We tried to rescue them. They were going to be slaughtered, I think, and they had all kinds of things wrong with them, yeah. But I've got new chickens now, and they're all healthy and stuff, but I didn't name them for that reason.
Okay, and what are the names of the cats?
Salem, Dobby, and Vito.
Dobby, is that from Harry Potter?
It's from Harry Potter. He's a sphinx. He's a pink sphinx, yeah. So he looks a little bit like Dobby.
Dobby!
Yeah.
Harry! That's so good. You're a Harry Potter fan.
I'm a big Harry Potter fan.
Zane, I didn't know that about
Yeah,
you.
love
I
Harry
wouldn't have
Potter.
pegged you as like a Harry Potter guy.
Yeah.
This is like really good vibes.
It was my thing as a kid, yeah. I loved
That's
Harry
really
Potter.
good. Okay, and what are the dogs' names?
Zion, Zeus, and Thumper.
Fumpa?
With an F, yeah.
Fumpa.
Thumper. Like Thumper, but with an F.
How did you come up with that?
Bambi. Thumper,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
rabbit.
yeah. But you wanted an F.
Yeah, Thumper thought sounded better.
Yeah.
It's better in my accent, Thumper, you
Yeah,
know?
it does sound pretty good. Something I love to do on Call Her Daddy is like, the reason we all are the way that we are is because of our childhood, where we came from, who we were raised by, our environment growing up. Obviously, you living in Pennsylvania right now is so different from where you grew up in the UK, in Bradford, like you described. Can you explain to people that may not be familiar with Bradford, like, what was your upbringing like and what was that environment like?
Where do you want me to start?
Just wherever it feels right. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bradford's not obviously like Pennsylvania in terms of, you know, like the wealth and the way that it's like, you know, looked after and taken care of. It's impoverished community, you know. There's people below working class there that have, you know, a hard environment that they're growing up in. You know, everyone's kind of got some issues going on at home or something's happening, you know, even if it's on the street or whatever, wherever you go, there's a lot of confliction, you know. So it was very different to here in that sense, for sure. But I'm very grateful for where I grew up, because it definitely, like you said, shaped and molded a lot of identity for me. Early on, I was questioned, you know, and like interrogated about my identity because of my environment. Like, it's just the way it is. Like, you have to have a good understanding of who you are. And I'm really grateful for that. You know, it helped cement my own identity in myself, I think.
When you talk about like people would question your identity, I know your family is not from the UK. Your family is Pakistani. And I'm curious, is that
my father is, my mum's English.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you saying like, is that how that was influenced?
No, not necessarily, just in every sense of the word. Like, even like your fashion, the clothes you want to wear, the way you want to cut your hair, it was always something was questioned, you know, if you weren't doing the norm that was like that everybody was doing, or everyone was following, you know, everyone would wear a certain type of pant or a certain type of shoe, and if you weren't dressed that way, you would get questioned about it, you know, like people would be very like in your face and be like, give you shit. So you had to like have a bit about you so that you could, you know who you were and have a conversation back. Have a bit of wits about you, as it is, you know, street smarts, for sure.
You got to be able to like hold your own.
Exactly, yeah.
And when you say people are coming at you, is it more like peer dynamics of,
Yeah.
or is it more like authoritative figures?
There's a balance, a mix, of everything. It's it depends, you know. There's the peer pressure in schools and stuff, but then it's on the street if you go out there and stuff. If you're just trying to have a good time, you know, like it's not as friendly fun, you know. It's a bit more like irate. There's a bit of bit of aggression going on. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Talk to me about where you grew up. Like, are you in an apartment? Are you in a condo? Are you
Oh
in a
no,
home?
I grew up in a terraced house, in a rented property. We never owned our own house. So yeah, it was a small house. There was like 3 bedrooms, kitchen, living room, but the streets like are all like every house is like stuck next to the one next to it. You know what I'm saying? There's no space. You have a garden that's like enough for maybe a dog to sit in. So yeah, it's a bit different for sure. Yeah.
So you have 3 sisters? Mm-hmm. Okay, and so you are the one boy and 3
I
sisters.
have 3 sisters. Yeah.
What was it like growing up with all mostly women around you? Like, how do you think that shaped you?
I feel like I learned a lot of things like early on. My sisters are very opinionated, you know, they're very strong characters. Yeah, I love them. They're great. They were a lot of fun. Yeah, it was always entertaining in our house for sure.
I really love when I meet a guy and you can just tell that he has sisters, because you can just tell the way they move around women. You guys learned what a fucking tampon is earlier.
I had to go to the store and buy them.
Wow. So you were like really supporting that time of the month.
Yeah.
Terrified.
Yeah.
But supportive.
For sure, yeah.
Okay. Were you reluctant to go to the store and buy
Definitely
anything?
not. It was just kind of weird, like when the shopkeeper would ask me like why I was buying them, and I'm like, obviously I'm not buying them for myself, you know, like, do you have to ask me that? Like, just let me buy this.
You wouldn't stick like a couple extra like snacks around it. You're just like tampons.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have money for extra snacks. It was just needs to a mean, yeah.
Zane's like, I'll take the supers. These bitches
Means
are
to a
on
need,
it.
sorry, the other way around. But yeah, exactly. It was always an awkward conversation, but yeah, I didn't mind it.
I respect it.
You gotta
I really
do that
do.
for your sisters.
Okay, to people obviously that weren't there in your childhood, how would you describe your personality as a kid?
My personality as a kid, I think I was a bit of a cheeky chappy. Yeah, I used to mischievous, used to get into all kinds of just childish stuff, you know, like climbing in places I shouldn't have been and falling out of trees and smashing windows and stupid things. Yeah.
Oh.
With a football, accidentally, of course, you know.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
So you were getting in trouble a little
Yeah,
bit.
just like childish stuff, though.
Yeah.
You know, nothing too serious.
Yeah,
But,
like climbing trees.
Exactly. Yeah, exciting shit.
Okay, so you were kind of just like doing your thing as a kid, but I also think the way that you're describing the environment that you grew up, was there a way that you could have gone down the wrong path easily because of that environment? It was easy to get wrapped up in the wrong crowd.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think there was always an opportunity to go and do something that, you know, would have got you in like serious trouble. I was really lucky in the sense that like my mother and father like were super protective of that environment. My dad was always aware of, you know, the things that were out there, and he always explained stuff to me from a young age, and kind of kept me away from that, if I'm being honest. And that's where like I developed into being a person that likes to be by myself and like in my room, like singing, recording, writing. I got into, you know, poetry and things like that because I was in my room a lot, like, and I didn't like to be in them kind of environments. It was just a bit too much, you know.
Yeah.
I was always a bit more of a reserved kind of guy, a bit, you know, artistic, wanted to do my own thing. I didn't really want to be in that, so my parents did a good job of keeping me away from it, I think. Yeah.
Did you get along with kids in school? Were you like the cool kid? Were you bullied? Like, what was the vibe?
Yeah, I think I got on with pretty much everyone, but I wasn't like, I was the type of person who only ever had like 2-3 close friends.
Okay.
I didn't have like a big group. Like, I knew people knew of me. I don't think I was the cool kid,
Yeah.
but I wasn't bullied either. Yeah, like if people knew me, they were friendly with me. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of kids, we always have that like memory. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's something with the parents or the siblings or extended family, like of like a childhood memory that you remember your family kind of just being like stressed or going through something difficult, kind of like if you could remember kind of a childhood memory that you remember just being like stressed about something in your life.
Like looking back at like childhood stresses, like I feel like a lot of them were so like finicky that it was just probably just some teenage shit, you know what I mean? It wasn't anything important. So I don't really look back at things like that in my personality, the way I am. Like I've never really like looked back and been like, oh yeah, this is one thing that like kind of was, you know, a stressful thing. I think life is interesting like that. I think, you know, it depends on what you're going through at that time and how you feel, and then you can reflect on it at a different point and feel completely differently about it.
It's so interesting. I have a lot of respect even for you answering it like that, because I know that you've been open about, like, at one point your family being on food stamps, and I feel like a lot of people would sit here and that may have been the answer, right?
Yeah.
That would have been like, well, fuck, like I didn't know where my next meal was. And you're like, oh, you know, maybe it was childish shit, like no big deal. And it's like, that's interesting if you...
Yeah, no, and obviously there was some serious things like that for sure too, but I don't look back at it in terms of a negative light, you know. It all helped to like shape and mold who I am and make me grateful for the things that I have now, you know.
Yeah. So we are here because you can sing. When did you first realize you were passionate about singing and you could sing?
I think I was about 11, 12. I'd sung a little bit before, like I'd done a bit in like school choir and stuff. Funny story, I actually fancied like these 3 girls that were in choir, and they were triplets, and that's why I just was like, I'm gonna be in choir just so I can hang around these girls. And then it developed from there. When I went into high school, I went to a performing arts college, like specifically like majored in sports and performing arts. And they were doing the school production that year for Greece, and I auditioned. And nobody could sing, like, at all, like in our whole school. And I went and did this like singing audition. Everyone was like, whoa, you can sing. And then my music teacher like recommended that I get like a couple of singing lessons and stuff. And then she said, I think you should go on X Factor, I think you've got a good chance. Like, and it just kind of went from there. Like,
I love that the story started with, you know, there were these 3 triplets and it just felt right to join choir.
I was like 8 as well, by the way. Just for the
so
record.
swaggy. You're like, I gotta get in that class.
I need to just spend this time. Yeah.
Right. So like your natural just like boy interest ended up, you realized something that you had a true talent. From the triplets to X Factor, you made it. So it's so funny too, because you say you wouldn't be where you are without your mom, because you didn't want to get out of bed the morning that you had the X Factor audition and your mom made you go. Why did you also not want to go initially?
I think it was just nerves. I built it up in my head and I was like, yo, this is a massive thing. And yeah, I was like, I don't think I'm going to go today. And my mum's like, you are going. You're going right now. You're going to go see what happens. So yeah, I definitely owe it to her for that, for sure.
Oh my God. And so did you like practice? You were practicing for it?
Yeah, but I had no idea, no clue. Like they told us like we had to have like a backing track, like a karaoke version, and like I was so like inexperienced at that time that I didn't even know what that was. So like I was just planning on singing a cappella, so I was just gonna do it like without anything. And it was so weird for me to adjust to singing on a backing track. I was like, this is such a weird experience. I think even Simon looked at me a little bit weird, like when I did the a cappella, because everybody had backing tracks and stuff. But yeah.
So that probably made you stand out though.
I don't know. It could have worked either way. Maybe it made me sound really bad too.
No, well, obviously not. Look where you're fucking sitting.
Yeah, true.
Wait, do you remember what you sang?
Yeah, I do. Mario, Let Me Love You. And the reason I said that is because I've seen that performance back a few times and cringed every time I watched it. So yeah, it's not my best vocal performance. So there's a lot of nerves involved there for sure.
But clearly there was something in there, Zane.
There's some talent. Yeah, there's some potential.
Acapella, and he just nails it.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by White Claw. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're way too hot to be spending the summer sitting inside and just scrolling on your phone, okay? We are getting those bikinis out of storage, and we are getting out of the group chat too, okay? I want all of us to have fun this summer, and you know what goes perfect with a 7 UV index and yapping with your girls? A cold can of White Claw, okay? I'm just getting back from Unwell spring break in Miami, and let me tell you, there is nothing more refreshing than a cool, crispy White Claw by the pool. You give me a mango White Claw and a lounge chair, I'm set for the day, okay? Daddy Gang, it is officially White Claw summer. They've got only 100 calories in 12 glorious ounces. Plus, they're gluten-free and have the taste you know and love. I always like to grab a variety pack so everyone can have their favorite flavor, from peach to black cherry to mango. You truly can't go wrong. My personal favorite is OG black cherry through and through. I cannot be stopped when I get one in my hands. It's time to celebrate the end of hibernation season. Summer is around the corner, and it's time to get out and get after it. Cheers to that, okay, Daddy Gang? Let's go find a guy with a boat and grab a claw. Pick up a pack from your local favorite spot and grab life by the claw with your favorite flavor this summer. Tell him your founding father sent you. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
When you look back at that moment, obviously, is it like surreal? Like if you even had to like watch it back, like does it even feel like a lifetime ago?
Yeah, it does. It feels like so much longer than it actually was.
Yeah.
Because so much stuff's happened in that time. Yeah, it's very interesting, very surreal. And I feel all them nerves again, like when I watch it. Like I feel like I could like give myself a hug, you know, and be like, it's okay, bro. Because I'm like holding onto the mic for dear life. Please, nobody hurt me.
It's so good. It's so good. So obviously then, X Factor, Simon, everyone came to you guys and they had this idea to invent One Direction. And then I think I don't even know, like, did you even meet anyone before they put you guys together?
Yeah, we knew each other like just from around.
Okay.
Because we were like a similar age and stuff, so naturally you speak to people who were like a similar age to you around there and stuff. And we were at boot camp together, and I met Harry on my audition day because we both auditioned in Manchester, and we were literally sat next to each other in the audition.
Oh, so it was like fucking meant to be.
He was sat right next to me, we spoke, and I went in and did like a producing audition round, and then he went in straight after me. And we spoke a little bit there, yeah.
So you weren't complete strangers. That's good to know. Because I didn't know if they like just threw you all together and then you were like, hey,
it's edited very well, obviously. You know, you don't see all behind the scenes and stuff. But yeah, you spend a lot of time with the contestants.
Okay, got it. Once you started, obviously, One Direction and you joined One Direction, like, how quickly did your actual life change? Was it overnight immediate or was it a little bit gradual?
It was kind of strange. The like visual evidence of life changing, like people being outside of the studio and stuff, was like when we were on the live shows, we started to get like a fan base and an audience, and you could see that people were paying interest in us. So yeah, from that point on, like it was kind of a bit crazy.
Like, what were you even able to comprehend it?
Not really. I don't think I comprehended it at all. Like, I think it's just a rush, you know. It was like just fun, and then the repetitive fun over and over again eventually is going to take its toll. You know what I mean? So then you look at it a certain way when you're in that, and like it feels overbearing. Now I look back at it like it was a rush. You know, it was fun. It was something that was amazing. Like, so of course I wasn't going to understand it. It's not something I expected in my life, but it was definitely fun for sure. Yeah.
Because it is so interesting. I think people forget, like, you were 17 at the time.
Yeah, 17, yeah.
Like, my brother lived in this house at 17 and was, like, picking his nose and going to Wawa and, like, trying to fucking get girls to pay attention to him. And you are, like, all of a sudden overnight become one of the biggest stars in the world. Can you help us, commoners over here, Zane? Commoners. Can you help us understand, like, what skyrocketing to that level of fame can do to you as an individual when you're like by yourself at night, laying in bed, trying to understand like what is happening to you in your life?
Yeah, you can definitely get into, you know, deep places of thought if you really reflect on it in that kind of manner. To be honest with you, I don't think I was even like intellectually capable to do that at that age, you know. Like, I think it's took time for me to process them things. I think I've had to like process it with an older mind and look at it backwards and be like, yo, this was why this happened, and this is what happened, and you know, we took off at this point, and this interview made this happen, and then this song made this happen, and just decipher it, you know, as like facts rather than like in an emotional manner, because emotion like just seems to just blur things, you know.
Right.
So I try not to think about them things on that kind of level, like, oh, I'm super famous. Like, I just make music, you know. I love singing, and people seem to have an interest in it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. A little bit.
yeah.
Just a little bit. No, I almost get what you're saying. Like, you kind of have to black it out and just be present, because if you stop to think about all of it, then it's all going to come
Exactly,
washing
yeah.
over
And that's
you.
how I deal with it. I don't black it out so much, but I just don't overthink, you know. It works for me that way, I think.
Yeah. You just almost have to stay present, because it's like, what else are
In
you
the
gonna
moment,
do?
yeah, just enjoy it. And then like in, you know, 10 years time, you can look back and be like, this is what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, now you can look at it in hindsight and be like,
If you have 10 years time, but you
Right,
know,
right,
if
right.
you have that luxury.
yeah, but you've had time probably now to be like, whoa, in your quiet moments now in life where you can actually sit and dissect things that at 17, 18 years old, again, like you said, I was just having fun. I was just going with it. And also, it's not like you were just on this solo tour. Like, you were a part of something. So that also probably affected of like, be a good team player. Like, go with the flow. Like, do what you got to do. Obviously, your guys' fans are insane. They're obsessed. They're still obsessed. They're everywhere. They love you guys. Can you share any like memorable fan moments that you remember to this day that have stuck with you, of just like anything that happened that you're like, damn?
I've probably said this a lot of times, but honestly, it was one of the craziest and most bizarre moments ever. I remember coming out of the studio once in Sweden when we were recording What Makes You Beautiful, and this is before even we dropped our first single, and there was like a row of like maybe 5-6 bins, like trash cans, like outside of the studio. And I came out, and like every single one of the trash cans opens, and there's like 3 people inside of each
what?
trash
How
can.
did I not know?
And they tried to like grab me, and it was a very memorable moment. That was for sure. Yeah, I think I had a mini heart attack.
Humans popped out
Of the
from
trash
garbage
cans,
cans
yeah.
and tried to grab you.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking video game.
Yeah, it
And, like,
was.
swallow you into the fucking
Into the trash can.
What?
Yeah, it's
What?
funny, man.
Oh wow. Do you think that in any way,
That's
just,
dedication, though, right? Like to get
I'm-
into a trash can, like.
Zane, they
Some-
were willing to get
some
in the trash bucket for you. Okay? Motherfucker, they are loyal.
They are.
Do you think that those kind of moments, though, not that we don't love the fans, we're obsessed, but like people being so obsessed with you, like, is there any lingering paranoia from people constantly staring at you and following you? No.
No, not really. I don't have paranoia in that sense, no.
That's good. You sleep well.
Yeah, I do. I sleep in Pennsylvania. You
Yeah,
know
I
what
know.
I mean?
Look, it's raining.
I can hear the crickets. It's amazing. There's no crazy people out there.
No one crazy in Pennsylvania. That's debatable. You're performing in front of massive crowds, and I know you're kind of saying like you were in the moment, but like, were you able to just easily get in front of all these people? Was there no fear or anxiety that came with like standing in front of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people when you're on stage?
I think there was, but I don't think we had time for it. Like, there was no like, you have time to have anxiety or be nervous. You're just kind of gonna go do it, you know, like get on with it. So yeah, I think we just got thrown into the deep end, and we kind of just had to swim, you know, like, and I feel like we did a good job, like in terms of like, you know, the keeping it together and making the music that we were meant to make. I think I got out at the right time. I think if it had done it any longer, it might have affected me a bit more, but I think we did the right amount, you know?
I think it's interesting too, because when you look at bands or even just like any brand that has like multiple people attached to it, like everyone loves to put archetypes with people, like the Spice Girls, for example. Perfect example. You have to label everyone. And so for a boy band, it would be like the boy next door, like the bad boy, like the brooding one or the funny one. Like, what persona do you think you played?
They used to make out that I was like the brooding, serious one. Yeah, but that wasn't necessarily my personality type. I think it's just a marketing scheme. You know, you got the Teletubbies, you've got Spice Girls, you've got whatever. Like, it's just a marketing scheme. You know, like, oh, this is this one. So I get it, but I don't think you can define an entire person to one personality trait. You know, we're a little bit more complex than that. Yeah, I don't know what my trait would have been if I'd have given myself one. It might have took a long time to come up with one if I was going to do that. So I can see why they just said, oh, yeah, you can be the mysterious one.
Yeah, it's interesting. I love the Teletubby reference. You're like, the Teletubbies, the Spice Girls, One Direction. I'm like, the fucking Teletubbies.
But yeah, I think right. Simon was behind the Teletubbies too.
Stop. What's he actually?
Yeah, and the Power Rangers, yeah.
It's so fucking crazy. It's all coming full circle.
He's got a marketing plan.
Fuck. No, but it's interesting. So I was going to ask, like, I agree. You kind of had this, like, brooding, mysterious personality, and that's why I'm excited to sit down with you today because, again, those stereotypes that were put onto people, I'm curious if, first of all, who comes up with that? Marketing people, I guess.
I'm guessing so.
Yeah, it's not like the fans. It kind of just happens.
Well, yeah, and maybe some of the fans kind of, like, naturally say this too, you know what I mean, from like pictures and things like that. Like, so
did you agree? So you didn't agree with it, but do you think you leaned into it more, or do you were just
I
like,
think
whatever?
I just had one face to pull, you know, in my I was doing the Zoolander, like that was it, you know what I mean. I was only a young kid, I didn't know what else to do.
I get it. If anything, maybe it made it easier because you're like, this is just my lane. Yeah, this is me.
Just stick with this. They won't ask me too many questions.
Do you think you're mysterious?
Not really. I just like to just like chill, you know. I like to be in the back a little bit. Yeah, I'm a bit more relaxed. I'm not like trying to like be in your face, you know.
You're not trying to jump in front.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well now you're solo, so you got to jump in front, Dane. Okay, we're gonna get there.
Take the reins.
I love how you kind of mentioned, you know, you got out at the right time, and I think that you leaving the band obviously shook the fucking world, and everyone was like, Zayn, like, no, like, keep it together. But I think what, again, we forget is you're a human being, and you clearly had to take care of your mental health and do what was best for you. Can you, I know you've lightly talked about this, but just so we get a full circle moment, can you just take us back to that moment of like actually sitting with yourself and knowing it was time to leave?
Yeah, I think I'd known for a minute. There was a lot of, look, I don't want to go into too much detail, but there was a lot of politics going on. Certain people were doing certain things, certain people didn't want to sign contracts, so I knew something was happening. So I just got ahead of the curve. If I'm being honest with you, I was like, I'm just going to get out of here. I think this is done, and I just seen it. And I completely selfishly wanted to be the first person to go and make my own record. If I'm being completely honest with you, I was like, I'm going to jump the gun here for the first time. I'm a passive dude, but when it comes to my music and my business, I'm serious about it, and I'm competitive. So I wanted to be the first to go and do my own thing. That was the reason. And then there was obviously underlying issues like within our friendships too. We'd been together every day for 5 years, and we got sick of each other, if we're being completely honest. So we were close, you know. We'd done crazy things with each other, and that nobody else in the world will ever understand or have them experiences that we've shared with each other, and I look back on it now in a much fonder light than I would have, you know, as I'd just left. There were great experiences, I had great times with them, but yeah, we just run our course.
I love that you're saying that too, because I think people can relate to that of like, if you're with the same people 24/7, no shit. And I think I can imagine as you guys were younger, everyone was so idealizing this band that you couldn't say that back in the day of like, yeah, we got fucking sick of each other. It was time to like do our own things. And I think that's so okay. But because there was this obsession, obviously, I get it. There's the nostalgia.
For sure, yeah. It's an idea, isn't it? Yeah. It's like when you watch Friends, you don't want Joey cussing off Chandler, you know what I mean? You want these people to be best friends. Like, it's an idea.
Yeah, you want them to stay together forever. But I also think it's so healthy, because imagine if you hadn't ended it, then you really would have fucking hated each other. And being able to go on your own way. Also, someone always has to be the first one to leave.
Exactly.
And maybe it's the best thing for it. But in the time, I can imagine there's hurt feelings. Were you afraid of what the world was going to think of you when you made that decision?
I don't think I was afraid. No. I just, the first thing I wanted to do was call my mom. As cheesy as that sounds, I just wanted to call her and be like, is it okay if I come home? Like, is this good? Like, and she was like, yeah. So as soon as she said that, I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm over this. I didn't really care about what anybody else thought. That's the type of person I am. Like we were talking about earlier, I try to close them opinions off. I'm not really the type of person who defines myself on other people's opinions of myself. If people know me and know me well, they know who I am. Yeah. And I spend that time on them people and make sure that they're, you know, looked after and they get that time with me, rather than the people that I'm never necessarily even going to see or, you know, have a conversation with, especially if it's a negative remark. You know, positive remarks are always nice. I don't really pay attention to either of them, if I'm being completely honest with you. Just don't let it get in my head.
I think that's so smart, because I think social media, even if you're not famous, like, everyone is feeding themselves and their worth by what other people are saying about them. And it's like, you good with your family? And like, I don't mean family by blood. Like, you may
just,
not be good with
people
who
that you have around you, your circle,
Yeah.
And as long as they're good, then that's all that matters to me.
Wait, but did you not tell your mom you were doing it?
Did I not tell my mum I was leaving?
Yeah.
No, it was like kind of spur of the moment. Like I'd not told her beforehand, like, oh, I'm thinking of leaving. I just called her on that day and that I was leaving and said, I'm coming home. Is it okay? Have you still got a bed for me? And she was like, yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, man. So it's
She's like, yeah, come back.
Yeah, my dad wasn't so cool about it. He was like, no, you got to stay with Simon. Simon's going to stay you right. Like, don't come home, stay there. But my mum was like, yeah, you can come home. Please, son, come home, you know.
Oh my God, that's actually really cute that the first person, like, Mom, do you have a bed for me? Mm-hmm. She's like, let's go. Because didn't you also buy your mom, one of the first things you did with your success is you bought her a home?
I did, yeah.
How cool was that to be able to buy your mom something after everything she's done?
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Wild. Okay, so you leave the band, and take me to when you're laying in your mom's home, you're in bed. What were those next couple weeks like for you, like mentally and emotionally?
It was interesting. I was just trying to get stuff together. Like, I wanted to get like a plan of action, you know what I mean? So I was like on a bit of a mission. I wasn't there too long. I went home for a little bit and then I went back to London and started working and stuff.
That must have been so stressful too, because I feel like, I guess we see it in various different forms, but like if you make a jump, even if someone like quits their job, right? They're like, I need to prove to myself and other people that like I now can do it. Like, and exactly, so did you put pressure on yourself when obviously you came out being solo? Like, were you fucking nervous?
Yeah, for sure. It's a very different experience standing on stage by yourself too. Like, it's a whole different workload as well, singing 3.5 minutes of a song completely by yourself. Like, when you've got a song divvied between 5 people, you're singing a little bit of a verse, maybe some ad-libs, you know. I preferred the workload, I'm going to be honest. But
you're like taking a nap in the back. Harry's like, dang, it's your part. Like, oh,
yeah, oh yeah, nice one. But yeah, I just kind of had to like make an adjustment. I started practicing a lot more, singing a lot more, and just like making sure I could sing for 3 minutes.
Right, you had to be like, I need to get back to my Let Me Love You days.
That's it.
Where I'm like back
That's
on X Factor.
Yeah.
It's just me. I'm curious, and I don't know, because I know you were saying, and I totally respect it, of like you were kind of just in this phase of going, and you didn't have time to stop. But when you did go solo and you left, did you have to take any moment to be like, who the fuck am I, independent of now not being a part of something that I was identified as in media?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's why I've took the time I have to like not even necessarily do interviews and do too much like press exposure, because I feel like we were so overexposed in the band that like it takes a bit of time for you naturally to progress as a human and give something else that is interesting that you have to say. You don't want to be sat there just saying the same shit on repeat, you know what I mean, day in, day out. Like, I think there should be a good, healthy break in between, and that was my approach to it for sure. So I feel like in terms of, you know, figuring out what your identity is as an artist, the only way you're going to do that is by living. You know, you can't just be on the conveyor belt and expect to have any sort of experience that's new that you're going to give people.
I love that too, because I feel like people, especially creators, there's such a stress about taking a break And it doesn't mean you're actually taking a break. You could be working
Still
your
working,
ass off.
yeah, you're just
but like popping out of the
not doing it
scene,
in the spotlight.
yeah. And were you able to just not have anxiety about it? Because you're like, I know I'm coming back, but it's like, I got to just be good on my own shit and not be fulfilling the tabloids and everyone else. Like, how am I on my own right now?
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting.
That was the whole
Wow.
thought behind it, for sure.
So you start doing your own solo music.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when you came out, Pillow Talk, all the good stuff, you popped off. And it's like really dope to see you coming out with your own sound and creative, and it's you, and that's exciting to know, like, you are producing this, and it's not obviously, and no shade to One Direction, but like, you're one of 5, like, you can't really have a full say in shit.
No,
now
yeah.
this is you. When you started on your solo career, like, was there anything that you really wanted to make sure that you could bring to life that maybe you weren't able to when you were in a band? Like,
creatively, I just wanted to talk about things, you know, that were a bit more real, like, and authentic to situations that I was going through in my life. Like, obviously, certain things that we would talk about in the band was always very, you know, clean cut, like, just glazing over the top, not really any depth or any stories to what's going on. And that was always a big thing for me. Obviously, I understand, again, from a marketing scheme, that, like, the audience and the fan base we were appealing to at that point was that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So it was never going to work for that kind of audience. But yeah, I just wanted to show people that had a bit more depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that, because like, even earlier you said like you like to write poetry, and I'm like, I can only imagine how much the writing process is therapeutic, and you get to infuse parts of yourself and your identity, whereas that just like wasn't in the past, which it shouldn't have been. Like,
Yeah.
it was a band, it was great, whatever, but now you can actually artistically exercise that part of yourself, which must be
I think it's
really
difficult
fun.
for people to write songs even from one perspective, you know, like there was
Yeah.
5 of us in the room when we used to write sometimes, and it was so hard to get us all to like have the same viewpoint
Yeah.
and want to talk about the same thing. So in that sense, from a creative point, it is a lot more freeing for me. Like, I can fully get to grips with every part of it, you know, the
Yeah.
melody, the story, the production, the emotion, the feeling that I'm trying to convey in each song. So in that sense, it's super liberating.
It's cool, because I think we're getting to know you a little bit better now that you are doing solo music. But do you think that the world even like slightly knows Zayn yet?
I don't know. I try to like move in a certain way that, you know, hopefully I will still have some juice. You know, I don't want to give everything all in one go. So if they don't know everything yet, that's okay. But hopefully they get to know me a bit better in this interview. You know,
See,
they're
maybe
getting to see my thought patterns.
still a little mysterious,
Yeah,
Zayn.
I'm trying
No,
to be an
like
open
it.
book.
We like it. Okay, how about this? Describe yourself in 3 words.
Describe myself in 3 words. Well, I'm definitely not going to use mysterious as one of them. I would say I'm a chill, funny, loving guy.
All the girls watching this are like, ah, so nice. That's so nice. What's your favorite thing about yourself?
I don't know. I think I like the fact that I'm pretty witty. Like, I'm pretty smart. Like, and I enjoy that about myself, I think.
You're good company with yourself.
Yeah. I enjoy that I'm pretty smart. I have little laughs to myself, you know, about that.
What's your least favorite thing about yourself?
I'm a bit sensitive sometimes. Yeah. Not in a bad way. Like,
Yeah,
I can
that's a
like
good
take
thing.
things the wrong way sometimes.
Like-
I'm definitely working on that.
Like, give me an example.
Like, I just like tend to like, if somebody says something to me, like, I'll take it the wrong way if like I really care about their opinion, what they're saying to me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Then you'll get upset.
Yeah.
I think that's good, though. That means you care. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. Like I said, with the people that are close to me.
Right. Do you think you, at times, can be too caring in moments that you need to learn to, like...
I'm learning to be a bit more tame with it. Yeah, for sure.
Little boundaries.
Yeah, no, not boundaries. Just like I'm just learning not to like get in my head about certain things, you know, across the board. Like I exercise that well in terms of like dealing with the media and things like that, but I don't necessarily do that too well in my personal life. Sometimes I take things to heart. Yeah.
That's good though. Again, it does mean you care. But I get then you're like, yeah, but then I'm over here like dying inside. I gotta like muster up the courage to
Then
be
I
like,
go write a song.
Yeah. Put that into a song, okay? Give us one that's like really sad so we can
Oh,
like,
I've got
cry.
a few. I've got a few.
Oh,
A few really
really?
sad ones. Yeah.
See, this is what we need. Zane.
Okay.
We need some criers.
We've got some cry moments.
What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding about you?
That I'm like super serious, like that I like just I'm like super stern and serious, yeah, all the time. When I'm not, like, I'm just chill. I know that like a lot of people have like high energy personalities, and it's just not the way I am. It's, you know what I'm saying? I'm just a bit more relaxed about things.
It's actually nice to be in person with you because I could see in media it could come off, I get it, like serious. You're literally just chilling.
Yeah.
You're relaxed.
I'm just relaxed.
You're cozy in your sweater. There's thunder. There's rain. We're
in
just
Pennsylvania.
relaxed.
I didn't even have to drive too far. Came to your mum's house.
This is an advertisement from BetterHelp. You guys know I am a huge advocate for therapy. There is nothing more important than investing in yourself. Overall, in our society, mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. I know there can be a stigma around seeking mental health support, but when people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It impacts families, workplaces, and entire communities. I definitely noticed a huge improvement in all of my relationships once I started taking the time to work on myself and prioritize my well-being. So let's encourage everyone to take care of themselves and break the stigma. Finding the tools to feel healthy and happy makes everything in life feel more manageable. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapists from their diverse network of credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. BetterHelp is also fully online, making therapy both convenient and affordable. Over 5 million people worldwide use BetterHelp, and it's easy for any user to switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. We're all better with help. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/daddy. That's betterhelp.com/daddy. Let's talk about anxiety. I know that you have lightly talked about it in times, and I just want to talk to you about like how anxiety affects your life. What has it done in terms of playing a part in your personal life and your career? Like, just talk to me about what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, so I think we kind of touched on it a bit earlier, like when we were talking about, you know, like the nature of our job, you know, like what we were doing in the band and the situation being on stage in front of thousands of people. I think it's a really normal place to experience anxiety, you know, like you're going to go and perform in front of, you know, a lot of different people that you don't know who they are. And it's not a natural thing to do, you know, in terms of everyday life. You don't just talk to thousands of people, you know. So it was something that I had to, you know, learn to adjust. Anxiety for me, I've learned is a feeling that now has a word, you know. And I feel like for generations, human beings have felt it and not really even been able to put, you know, the finger on what it is. But we overcome it, you know, and certain things in life can change your perspective on them things. And I think for me, like, since I've had my daughter and since she was born, like the main thing in my mind is like trying to be a good example to her, like in terms of, you know, I can do things and I can achieve things and I can overcome things and you can do this too. And to let things like, you know, a feeling stop you from doing that after having a child feels like a really small thing. Like I feel like I've like had to step up, you know, as a man or just, you know, as a person. and be this example to her that doesn't succumb to these feelings. That's why I'm even doing this interview, you know, like I used to get a lot of anxiety around like having a conversation like this, just in this kind of environment, and I want her to be able to look at me and be like, yo, my dad's doing this, you know, he's the man, he's cool. He's a cool guy. Yeah, so that's helped me a lot for sure.
That is so fucking cool. To obviously, my mom's a psychologist, so I grew up and I think mental health was not a conversation for most families, and hopefully it will be. But like, I've watched my mom talk to so many people and talk them through how to get over a panic attack, how to get over anxiety, how to not get over it, but like manage it, live with it, be okay to go about your everyday life. I think sometimes if you don't have anxiety, people look at people with anxiety like, just get the fuck over it. And I think it shows up in everyone's lives in such different ways. And I
don't think that's the way you can look at it, you know? I think everybody's situation is individual. Yes. I think it takes an individual experience then to happen for somebody to overcome that too, you know?
Totally. If you think about the first time you can recall in your life experiencing anxiety, did you experience anxiety prior to fame?
For sure.
Like, take me to like a moment in your life where you remember being like, wow, I didn't know that was anxiety, but now I do.
But I enjoyed it. That was the thing. Yeah, like I enjoyed being in that feeling. And then it got to a certain point, I think, where it just became too much. Like I just was weighing on me, that feeling of like anticipation, and then getting the adrenaline, and then the after feeling of that, you know. As a young kid, I loved it. Like I loved being on stage and I loved performing. It was like a free space for me to go and be a character, because it was, you know, I was playing a role in some little school performance. It was nothing serious. When it became a thing that had a lot of weight behind it in terms of, you know, people watching and stuff, then you're gonna have natural feelings of anxiety.
People staring at you, judging you, writing about you, following you, taking pictures of you. That's a lot. Can you share with us, like, in the heyday of paparazzi and insanity, like, what would be something that would really trigger your anxiety in those days?
Just the idea of like not being able to just do normal things, like to just go outside and like walk out onto the street, you know, like, because where we lived, it was kind of a bit crazy, and there's just people always there like waiting to take a photo and stuff. And obviously thinking about having a child and like raising her in that environment, it was just very claustrophobic for me. I didn't want her to have to be like exposed to that, because she didn't choose it, you know. Like it was a choice that I made. So I was like, we need to get out of here so that she can have some chance of like a normal childhood, you know, where there's not cameras flashing in her face constantly.
Let's talk about you being a father, because it's really cool to see you talk about anxiety, which again, I have so much respect for even you being able to talk about it, because I know it's like you're not that public about your life, and that's something that you live with every day. And to say like having a child has helped you overcome something that is like in your day to day, that's like pretty debilitating in moments. But you being famous and having a child, like deciding to move here, I can imagine you're trying to shield her from this life that you also are still trying to figure out. Like, is it a lot?
I feel like there's a healthy way to do it, you know. I'm not necessarily trying to shield her from it, because she's gonna know, you know. She's gonna get to a certain point, she's gonna have a certain level of awareness, she's gonna know what's going on. I'm just trying to give her an option, you know. So it's like a choice for her. Like if she wants to be away from it, she can be out here, like, because I am a famous person and I get sanctuary here, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like she is going to have a lot of options, and whatever she wants to do in her life, obviously I'll support her, for sure. So good.
Okay, how has becoming a dad shifted your priorities in life?
The crazy thing is, obviously I have a 50% of the time. So that time I have with her is so important, because I feel like she's growing up so fast. Like, so when I'm with her, I don't work like at all. I just spend a full day with her doing the things that she wants to do. Like painting, Play-Doh, this, that, go to the park, go to the theme park, go to the zoo. Like, we just have fun. Like, and I feel like I've like rekindled my own childhood, like through her, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we get to a certain point in adult life where everything's kind of vague and grey and boring. Yeah. And she's brought that colour back for me, for sure, yeah.
What is a dad quality that you've proudly taken on that makes you laugh a little when you think about it, of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this?
I keep being told I'm telling dad jokes and I'm leaning into it. I'm just like, it's okay, it's cool. Like, I'm using like Christmas cracker jokes and stuff, and it's really funny. Like, people just look at me like I'm a weirdo, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a dad now, I'm allowed to tell these jokes, so you have to give me a pass.
Wow, Zane, I didn't expect that, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I love a dad joke.
You're like full dad vibe.
That's it, yeah. I'm going full.
I love how you're like, I'm fully leaning in. There is no stopping me. Okay, well, you haven't cracked one here, so if you want to, you can always give us your best. But, you know, when it feels
we'll say that for another time.
Okay. What is your favorite thing to do with your daughter?
My favorite thing to do with her is she shows a lot of signs of like musical intelligence already. So I just love like playing instruments with her and singing with her. Like, I'll sing and she sings along, and she can do like good harmonies and stuff already, and she's only 2.5, like, and she harmonizes with me well and like finishes notes, and she can hold them for a long time. I'm like, I think you might have a bit of ability, you.
I'm picturing the two of you playing with Play-Doh, and you start singing, and then your daughter starts singing.
She
and
can
it's
hit
like
these high notes, like falsetto. Like, yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, yo.
You're like, whoa, you're good. You want to be on my
I
next
couldn't
album?
do this. I didn't speak till I was 3.
How the fuck do you sing?
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's mad.
Wow.
And she
You must
remembers
be
like
so-
full lyrics to songs as well, like every word. It's mad.
Wow, we
We'll
got a
see.
superstar in our hands.
see.
Okay. It's interesting to hear you say like you're singing to her, which like would have loved if my dad could have sang. He can't. What are you singing to her, and like what are her favorite songs that you sing?
She loves Disney movies, so we sing a lot of Disney songs together. And sing like "You've Got a Friend in Me" and stuff. Yeah, she sings it really cute.
Honestly, that's really cute thinking about you guys singing that. What qualities of yourself, aside from like having that musical aspect, more like personality, like what qualities do you see from yourself in your daughter?
I think she's funny. Like, she's a bit of a cheeky one. Yeah, she likes to have a bit of a joke and stuff, and like laugh a lot. She's chilled though, but she loves reading as well, which is something I think she definitely took from me. Like, she just has a affinity for words. Like, she remembers everything.
Has becoming a parent changed your relationship with your parents?
Definitely, yeah. In a like respect way, you know. Yeah. Like, you just have so much respect for the things that they've put aside for you, you know. Like, when you realize all the sacrifices that you make as a parent, like just to be there and be present with your child, like you can't have nothing but respect for that. For sure.
I know you said like obviously you have her 50% of the time, you want to make the most of these moments. Like, what's something that you guys have done together recently that made you so happy and you had like such a great time?
We went to Nickelodeon in New Jersey, which was
so fun.
Really good. I enjoyed it. I know it's like super childish, but like I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I think I had more fun than it was good.
That is so good. How is co-parenting going?
Co-parenting is good. Yeah. We have a really good relationship for Kai. She's the the main importance.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going well.
Yeah. Okay.
I think.
Zane's like, from me.
From me, yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask you if I can ask one question just about, like, as delicately as I can go about it. I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask about the 2021 incident.
Okay.
I know you can't really speak on it. I think obviously as a man, you like there was a lot out there said about you, and you basically took the high road and didn't say anything, and you kind of put out that like blanket statement of just like, I want to respect my daughter and not say anything.
Exactly, yeah.
And I can imagine how difficult it is, kind of like almost a culmination of everything we're talking about today, of like, how do you balance when something is out there about you, about your character, that people are reading and speculating and saying things about you? And how do you decide when to speak up and when to like be silent and like chill on it and not really go there?
Yeah, so for me, like we were talking about earlier, I don't tend to get involved when people say things online, whether it's got something to do with me or whether it doesn't. Because for me, my most valuable thing that I have in life is time, and that takes so much time in a toxic environment to like explain yourself to people and justify this. And so I just kind of keep to myself. I knew what the situation was. I knew what happened. And the people involved knew what happened too. And that's all I really cared about. If anybody, you know, of a sane mind would look at the situation, I believe that you could respect that. Like, I just didn't want to bring attention to anything, you know. I just wasn't trying to get into a negative back and forth with her, any sort of narrative online where my daughter was going to look back and read that and be able to read into it, and it would just be something that there was no point. I believe I dealt with it in the best way, like in an amicable, respectful way, and that's all that needs to be said, you know. I feel like it's a lot of negativity, you know.
I can only imagine, like, first of all, no fucking family is perfect, and so to be on the stage that you guys are on,
and like you said, your family issues, you know, like if something happens in the family, like, I'd rather keep that between the family, you know.
Totally.
We don't need a whole audience of people and opinions, because it's hard enough to manage between two.
I more so just also wanted to give you the chance because I think you obviously handled it so amicably. I also think in doing my job, like, this is a podcast where I'm trying to support women, right? And like reading headlines, like, I wanted to hear from you, obviously, because hearing you even today, I don't know if, like, I'm just going to say what it is, like, you have said you have 50% custody. And so anything that we've all read online, like, well, if that was true, then that would have affected that.
Exactly,
so I think it's important to just say, like, me doing my job, I just wanted to clarify, like, it's not like, unless you can correct me, like, you don't have to have people with you while you're with your daughter and like visitation rights. Like, you have custody of your child.
Yeah.
So I think it's just important to say, because people are reading this shit being like, oh my,
yeah,
you know
no, for
mean?
Sure, yeah, and I'm super full on, hands on with my child, every chance I can be. If I could get 60%, I would have it. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your music. You're coming back. We're getting a song. Tell me what inspired the song. What can we expect? Give it to us.
Yeah, so I'm working. I've been working on my record for a minute. And I have a single for the summer coming out called Love Like This, that's like a standalone song, just a summer jam. It's a good vibe, like, yeah, it just feels like summer.
That's what I think we need.
We do need a good summer
like
tune.
We just need a bop. Like, someone asked me recently, like, oh, like, what's the song of summer? And I actually said, you know what, like, I'm interviewing someone and I know they have a single coming out and I have a feeling that could be the song of summer. Are you nervous to go on stage, like, alone?
I was, yeah. Like, when I first started, like, performing by myself, I was nervous, and I'm still nervous now because it's been a few years that I've been on stage, but I have this, like, energy too. Like, I feel like I have something to give, and I want to get on stage and be there again and feel that. That's one thing I can say, you know, like, my fan base has always been supportive in that manner. They're always just like, we're here, we've got you, like, when you're ready, we've got you, you know, like, come. We're gonna come and listen to your tunes. So yeah, I gotta be super thankful for that, and I'm super grateful, and I feel that love for sure. So I'm ready to prove these people right, you know.
Can we expect any music inspired by your daughter on your records?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm doing a record that I don't think people are really gonna expect. Like, it's a different sound for me, and it's got some, like, more narrative going on, like real life experiences and stuff. So yeah, my daughter's mentioned in there a couple of times.
Wow. I think that's going to be so fucking dope to actually hear from you in long form, essentially, because an album is in long form. Like, we're going to get to know you more, which is exciting, again, because Mr. Mysterious over there, we're still trying to understand Zane. Okay, what is something that you want your fans to take away from this interview?
I'd like my fans to feel like they got to know me a bit, because you keep saying I'm Mr. Mysterious. So,
You've been open. I do appreciate
yeah,
it.
no, so I'm hoping they got to know me a little bit, and they feel like they've seen me and caught up with me a bit, and, you know, they're going to see me a lot more. Like, and I want them to know that, like, across the board, like, I've kind of had a full, like, mental rehaul, and in the best way, thanks to my child, and, you know, being able to see things in a different light. And I'm going to be a lot more present, and hopefully people are going to see me a lot more.
I love it.
Yeah.
Zane, thank you so much for coming on Call Her Daddy. This was truly a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.